Mortgage One Studios, Russ Clark with you. Am I? Uh-oh. Okay, I guess I'm okay. Always doing an equipment check once I'm on air.
Oh, well, that'll
No,
work. It's interesting. You could describe the console, and explain all the functions. I think that'd be interesting. I'd love
Nothing
to hear
like
that.
being prepared.
You're always prepared.
It's always your fault, dude.
Yeah, that's correct.
Took me off.
That's the job of a co-host, isn't it?
Off task.
You
talk too much.
Yeah, right.
How about a disclaimer, which we should have?
Yeah, go ahead.
All content presented on the Russ Clark Show, including statements made by guests, commentators, and callers, reflect the personal opinion of those individuals and is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. These views do not represent the official position of Mortgage One Studios, its owners, employees, affiliates, or partners. Mortgage One Studios does not endorse, verify, or guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements made by third parties during programming. Okay, got that out of the way. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's hump day.
I had slept pretty well last night. I feel great.
We were talking about that. My sleep habits, are not ideal. In fact, I got to go see my cardiologist tomorrow. He's not going to be happy about that. But
well, I have thought that you're one of those people who are blessed with not having to sleep very much.
I don't, but it's a problem. I think
Well, it can be. It's not always. I mean,
but let me tell you, about 8 o'clock, particularly, I've been like, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm done at 8 o'clock. Now, it's normal for me to take a nap, but I haven't done that in a week or so. I don't feel like I need to. I'm hitting the gym. But by 8 o'clock,
yeah, but you get up early too.
I tell Helen, I said, I got to go to bed. It's just.
I think you were saying you're up at 1 o'clock this morning.
At 1:30 or so.
Okay,
1:15,
so
1:30.
There's a significant variation in how much sleep people need. I mean, it's a bell curve.
But I feel like I'm getting too little. I don't know.
Well, and you may be. I mean, just because you don't need much, you still need some.
I don't know. Maybe I have less brain cells. I don't have as much to rest.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't know.
I mean, some of the most brilliant people in the world did not require much sleep. Edison, for example, it said that he thrived on less than an hour sleep a night.
Wow.
Yeah, just amazing.
I just don't think he remembers napping.
Well, they watched him. They had people talk about him.
Really?
He'd sort of cat nap for a few minutes, and then he'd be back up.
Trump
again.
apparently sleeps very little.
Trump sleeps very little. I read research on this quite a while back, but I think it's valid, and that was that roughly 1% of the population does very well on about 4 hours sleep a night.
Okay, well, that's about all I got.
Well,
but the
varies,
When I worked with Dr. Hebentown on some of the longevity programs she was doing and vitamins and minerals and all that, we talked about sleep, and she said, "Look, you could take." She said, "I'd like for you to take melatonin because that helps you get to sleep, but melatonin won't keep you to sleep."
Okay, yeah.
But take 5-HTP after that because the 5-HTP will continue making naturally melatonin in your body and it'll keep you asleep. I haven't taken that in quite a while. Maybe I need to take a little bit of that.
Maybe if it worked for you,
I don't know. It did at one time. I haven't taken that in a long time. That's just a normal thing you get off the shelf in a drugstore.
Yeah, I mean it's an over the counter. It's not considered addictive, fat forming, or
well, then I don't want
immoral.
I'm not going to have it now. You've ruined it. Tell me it's dangerous.
That does seem to be that trend. Oh man. Yeah.
Listen,
you could die. Oh, well, cool.
So since I was up early this morning, I was listening to a lot of news stories and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
And Edward's been giving me discouraging stuff about socialism and the move of the left going socialist.
Well, yeah, we had that Colorado primary election.
Yeah, and he talks a lot about the attitude of the leaders of what they want to accomplish and stuff, and pushing the socialist agenda.
It's scary stuff.
And so I like to tell him that he's wrong without saying the words, because I don't know if he would accept it any more than the Fonz would.
Sure. I mean, you don't tell him he's wrong. You say, well, have you considered this other possibility?
He tends to be right more than wrong.
I agree.
He really.
I am astounded by how much he agrees with me.
Right. Okay. And if he is wrong, we just never talk about it.
That makes sense. One sort of lesson I learned
Mm.
sort of about how to comport yourself in business dealings or whatever is that if you don't advertise your mistakes, people tend not to notice.
Well, but he will. I mean, he's a guy that, quite often when he calls in or something, and he's aggressive or something, which I enjoy
Okay.
myself. I like that, and passion and stuff. He will get a report from his staff that he needs to call and apologize because he was,
Oh, I haven't seen that.
which was wonderful. Well, he won't. I mean, he'll call me at home and something.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
and stuff like
that makes sense. Make the mistake in public, apologize in private.
But he says, yeah. But he says, well, and it was apologizing to me because it was, it was aggressive to me, not to the listeners.
Sure,
But
I'm
but
kind of being,
but I'm like,
joking.
I said, why are I mean, what? And I said, that I didn't find that odd. But I think he's more in tune with having the right behavior and being proper. I remember,
It could be.
I told you that I when I first moved in with Helen, and I'm used to living in not in a residential, but an industrial type areas and stuff, and having no neighbors, no nothing, and everything. Well, I moved in with Helen, and I hadn't been there a month. I walked out and put the trash out in my underwear. I thought I thought I had.
Yeah, that's funny.
I thought
I don't do that.
No, I thought I had. Well, no, I didn't know it. I thought I had shorts on, but I wear, they were black boxer briefs, but they were not shorts. And I didn't really realize it until I got out on the front porch and I go, uh-oh. And my neighbor saw me and they complained. So I had to complain. I had a complaint.
They complained to you or to Helen or
to
who?
Helen. And I hadn't lived there for a year. Well, Edward sent me George Washington's etiquette, some etiquette things and everything. And I think he's very refined. I mean, I think he pays attention to stuff. Let me take a phone call. We'll it's Ted. We could have hung up on it.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Ted's an interesting guy.
How are you, sir?
Fine, you?
Doing well.
Well, remember our conversation about the media and what they can and can't say and what they can and can't do and biased of shows and all?
What about it?
FCC is going to investigate and possibly pull the licenses for ABC broadcasting because of The View and Papadopoulos and all the rest of
Well,
them.
they've been talking about that for a little while. I doubt they pull the license. I think that's a threat to get your act together. But
it's interesting, Ted.
Why?
Well, I have an inside thing from Capitol Hill that says it's going to happen.
They're going to pull the license?
Yep, for their for TV.
I'm going to bet you lunch they don't.
Well, you're a gambler. I'm not.
Big gambler. Yeah,
well, I gamble, but I like to gamble on stuff I can influence the odds.
I think the worst case scenario is they tell them to get different ownership or something. But
well, I was hoping they just got tired of me calling the calling the speaker's office.
Oh, you think they lied to you?
No, I think Ted has great influence.
Maybe.
But
it makes a difference when you call. I mean, it does.
It does.
Yeah.
And not many people do call.
Right. That's why it makes a difference.
If you get 0.1% of the people in the population calling, it's huge.
Yeah.
Well, they keep asking, and I guess people are. I don't know. I begged everybody that listens to you guys and Hannity to please call in and voice your opinion.
And people do. Some people do. They do.
It makes a difference.
They do.
But I think this is really interesting.
But they've been talking about that ABC thing and The View and everything because they don't interview opposing viewpoints. They talk very politically and during a political
exactly
all that stuff. And in fact, Trump sued 60 Minutes
for
the way they
huge settlement
for the way they handled Kamala and
Papadopoulos.
Yeah,
he sued Papadopoulos and a couple of others.
Yeah,
but I'm just wondering if they're going to come after you because we're such one-sided Republicans.
No,
we're very careful about the facts.
I don't know.
No, and it doesn't mean you can't have an opinion. You can do all that. You could do all that. But when you have 100 guests and none of them are Republican during election years and all that, then that's a FCC requirement. and it gets to be obvious they're going to say
Well,
something.
it's only the right way. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, what are we running here? Rome Politburo or what?
Yeah. Well, and the FCC is different than internet because you can go on the internet and be as
Oh, yeah.
one-sided as you want, but the FCC is if the government is letting you have the airwaves or renting it or selling it to you, but with responsibilities, and that responsibility is
That's
some
right.
balance.
I tried to explain that to you, and you argued with me over it.
I'll still argue with you, but
We like to
okay, that's
argue.
cool.
You know, argue is.
I know it's the best thing that was ever devised.
yeah,
When the snake come around that tree.
I'm. But there are requirements come along, and it's not hard to match them, you know. And for me, you know, during the political season, for sure, I pay close attention, and
Mhm.
if I always make offers to Republicans, Democrats alike, and I treat them well. Unlike The View and
Right.
others, where you know the Republicans go in, they're going to ambush, you know.
Yeah, that's adversarial to those girls.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
and
have.
they are girls. Their mental acuity is not much over 17, 18 years
You're
old.
being nicer to them than Gutfield, so okay.
I've talked to politicians, a fair number, and a lot of them just say up front, and this was years ago. Okay, I've got to say it's like 10 years ago. The thing they feared the most was the media. So
Well, that's what Nazi Germany. I mean,
Yeah.
Goebbels.
yeah,
was
but that
just
was a government controlled.
intensely about the.
In the U.S.,
ours
it's
isn't.
it was the media controlled government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little different.
Yeah, I know all about that. It's after the Second World War. Yeah, they controlled it. Yeah, let me tell you something.
What's that?
Governments, the Army and our military, Defense Department, through the Secretary and all, still controls a lot of the media, and they know whether to step out of bounds or not. Now, when those helicopters came off and down the river and that plane hit them,
Mhm.
the story should have been. It used to be that no helicopters were allowed to fly within the river proper
Right.
between DC and Dahlgren. It was set up that way for a reason.
Well, because it's a
Because of
heavy
that congressional
traffic and
airport.
stuff,
Because of
yeah.
that congressional airport.
It's congested.
Right. And they did nothing but hide the fact that they had changed that due to pressure by certain politicians up on the hill.
They haven't changed it yet, and it's still flying. But that lady that was flying that helicopter, they never really did the whole story. And the whole story was she flew intentionally into that aircraft from the appearance of it. She was outside the area where she was supposed to be. She was below the altitude that she was supposed to
Yeah,
be.
she was not following the
She
protocols.
was not following anything. She wasn't answering. And I don't know what happened to the people sitting in there with her because she was
she was being evaluated.
and there were so there were flight trainers in there. So something happened wrong on that, and we never did get the whole story.
And that's why they were never supposed to fly in the river proper.
But the generals
Only
like to have
along
their
the
helicopters
shorelines.
over there at the Pentagon, so they get them over.
There's a way around. They always went around that. They always flew on
Well.
the shorelines. But once they start populating them, like I told you, Levitt and Sons and all the rest of them developing the waterfront for the upscale living,
I don't believe that
they
helicopter.
changed the.
I don't think it was a helicopter. I don't think it was an accident though. I think it was intentional.
Well, you should have come to Fort Belvoir sometimes with me and my dad when he was down there and see some of the mistakes that were made just out of who knows why. Who knows why? It just happens.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah, it happens.
But they don't normally end up in that kind of situation.
They crashed right where my father worked at Fort Belvoir at Post Command. They dropped the helicopter right in the front area of that building.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, it happens.
Yeah, the helicopters land at the White House all the time.
They burned up 2 choppers across the river from Quantico using the.
So are you anti-helicopter?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, man. They still haven't figured out really. They still haven't really figured out how it works. You know what I mean? Why it works.
I can explain it.
But Leonardo, he figured it out for him, and they just copied his schematics. And
That's you know what I heard about the way they work. At least is that it's not that they really are aerodynamic or anything. They're just so damn ugly that the earth repels them. That's that's what I understand. It kind of pushes them out. Yeah.
Oh, Russ, God,
That's what I
well,
understand.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
All right.
So anyway, like I say, this it's getting out of control, dude.
What's
And
out of
they're going
control?
to come after you.
What's-
They're going to come after.
Oh, you mean the
here
FCC
soon.
again? FCC.
Yeah, they're going to come after you soon.
I don't
for
care.
being one way.
I don't care. I'm not one way. I don't care.
I think there's
we
more
don't
freedom
have
of
any-
speech now than there'd been for 50 years
I've been
before.
working under those guidelines for decades. I'm good.
Oh,
And I
you
pay
haven't had
attention to it.
You haven't had the Representative Dorito down here to talk on the radio
Because he
or
won't come
anything.
on. It's as long as I
Why
offer.
not?
We're not him.
Because I ask him, I don't know, because he doesn't want to answer hard questions.
He don't answer the phones.
I-
I've already
I-
complained to the speaker's
Okay.
office over there.
I don't.
His offices won't answer their phones.
All right.
They will not answer their phones.
That's good information to know.
But I think Republicans are more apt to go on Democrat programs like J.D. Vance did on The View. And the only reason The View accepted is because of the scrutiny that you're mentioning, that the FCC is scrutinizing. And that's it. So they had to take View. And the outcome of that was Joy Behar said, wow, you should run for president.
Yeah.
They liked him.
That Italian Quisling. Yeah,
All right.
we beat them in the Second World War.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, she can talk all her rubbish all she wants.
All right, Ted. I appreciate the call, man. I got to go.
You too, sir.
See
Have
you,
a good
buddy.
day.
All right, bye-bye.
Get her.
Ted. Ted's
Always an interesting take.
yeah, kind of he's got some anger issues, but that's all right. See, Edward's awake this morning. Oh, the I mentioned to Edward this morning because I got up and I listened to a lot of the news because I was up so early.
Sure.
Listen to a lot of news, just see what out there. And it was just amazing that the messaging that was coming through from Democrats. I mean, they were being interviewed on news or whatever, whether it's Fox or CNN or whatever it is that the agenda of Musk and Trump, the agenda of Trump and Musk, well, with Musk and Trump working together. And I
Do they think this is going to be adverse to Republicans to
Yes.
say they're working together?
yeah, I think that
sounds a little odd to me.
well, I think that they have been villainizing
Vilified. Yeah, they've
the-
been vilified, but
the-
they're
the-
popular.
billionaires and the first trillionaire and all that. And Musk hasn't been in the news for a while. He hasn't been on the dose. Well, I mean, in the news as a political.
Well, he's like sent messages to Europe and to England and
Yeah, on his own, but he's not
Right.
doing it from the White House anymore.
Correct.
Or, from Doge and all that stuff. But they even talked about Doge this morning quite a bit. Like, well, if you really want Musk and Trump doing the Doge and all that stuff. I'm like,
very popular.
well, so I thought they are using him. So I was thinking about this morning. I sent it to Edward. I said, I noticed that. And he mentioned that they are playing off the trillionaire billionaire message. Exactly right. They're demonizing millionaires, billionaires, and then tying that right to Trump.
I think they're trying to. I don't know how successful it is.
I don't know either, but it's not going to be successful for you or me. I just wonder how they're looking for their base. Is that going to be successful for the base?
Well, for the
And they've been demonizing success for a while.
right
now.
for the Democratic
Democrats,
Party
yeah,
base,
yeah.
yes, that will resonate with them, but that's a small part of the electorate.
But I thought, look at all the free advertising Musk is needing. He doesn't even need it. It's not. There's nothing that he really needs.
I had a personal experience that way. There was some work being done in the neighborhood where I was at, and I went over, and there was a fellow who spoke. I mean, he spoke English like a native, but he said that he had learned English, and from his remarks, it sounded like he was an immigrant.
Okay.
I had no idea if he was because there wasn't anything to indicate that, but he was really, how to put it, he was denigrating Musk. And I'm going, you're saying all this stuff that isn't factual, but it's not the way I normally operate. to contradict somebody who's just working in the neighborhood
Right.
because he makes a political statement I disagree with.
Yeah.
I mean, why pick a fight,
Well,
So I didn't. And I just thought it very odd that he wove these conspiracy theories. The only reason Musk has any money is because the CIA put him in power.
really?
Yeah.
Well, didn't know that. Well, he has money. But if you read some of his stuff on
Yeah,
how he
I
got
mean,
money,
if you
it
read
had
the
nothing to do with
facts of what
CIA.
happened,
Yeah.
they're pretty clear.
He's kind of self-made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
But he's demonized, and the left looks at it like, well, Musk has all our money.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we need to get it from him.
Because the way the left tends to look at things, there's
Yeah.
only so much money. And if somebody has more, that means I have less.
Yeah, it's finite.
It's not a clear view of reality for the last 500 years.
Yeah.
I mean, where we create more and more wealth and everybody gets better off.
So I'm expecting to hear a lot more Musk talk, because they can't say Musk and Rubio, because Rubio's doing, he's looking pretty favorable. You can't say Musk and Vance because he's looking pretty favorable. Can't say Musk and any department. Pick a department head, or pick a secretary. They're all doing wonderful work.
I mean, to me, to go after Musk would be like somebody in 1900 going after Edison.
Yeah.
Look at Edison. He and Harding, they're in bed together or something.
It doesn't make sense, but the Democrats are not doing this without research. I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure they get these control panels together and throw different things at them and see the reactions. And I guess Musk must be still pulling a negative reaction.
Well, maybe among the groups they're interested in.
Correct, and that's correct. And they're right now they're looking for core voters, I'm sure.
But I'm not hearing anything about Tesla dealerships being firebombed.
No, they're not doing that anymore, I don't think.
In fact, I hear that Tesla's doing pretty well.
It's yes, they are. And it's kind of stupid to firebomb a Tesla. But they've got cameras. All of them have cameras.
Yeah. You guys realize, and there were quite a few people who got arrested and charged and probably ended up serving some real punishment on it.
As they should have. I mean,
you're destroying somebody's property because you don't like the person who invested in the company that made the car.
And you think it's just a prank to ruin the finish of a car. Okay, how much is it going to cost to have that replaced or fixed?
Yeah,
that's big money.
It's there just seems to be a fair number of people who think the solution to everything is to destroy something.
It's getting more out of that. I think
it's very bad, and it's bad for society.
I think it's been spread by our politicians too.
Some
of them have been. Something else that I noticed that's coming out, and I know there's been some commentary on it. People are talking about it, that the left is having some infighting right now, which is problematic, because you got the socialist section of it fighting the church, and we have the MAGA Republicans and the traditional Republicans, but that's not that different. MAGA was just more of a emphasizing the core values.
I would say so. It's more fundamental.
Where the Socialist Party within the Democrats aren't core values to the Democrats. At least they're not what they were.
I'm not so sure.
I think it's a bridge too far for most of them.
I think for most of what I would call the progressive movement, and that's what I consider to be the base of the core of the Democrats, it's a question of how much can we get away with this time.
But that's
and for a long period of time, they said, if we push too hard, voters won't vote for us.
But if you draw up what do we stand for, socialism, some of that stuff's not going to be on there. It's not going to be on there that we get rid of prisons. I mean, are they going to?
No, that's.
Are they going to put that on the platform for the Democratic Party? Are they going to put we're going to have open borders? Are they going to put that we need to pack the Supreme Court and all those?
Well, of course, pack the Supreme Court was something they tried back in the 30s.
Well, what I'm saying is, are they going to put that on the platform?
No, they wouldn't have.
Okay,
but now, maybe you are correct.
Maybe. So now the Democrats have a problem. Well, how do we identify ourselves? So what they're saying is we're a big tent. And that big tent thing is coming out huge right now in the Democrats.
Well, so Sandy brought that up yesterday.
People got the memo. Well, I'm taking credit for it. I don't care about Sandy.
You should take credit for it. But Sandy did tell us about it yesterday. And she was saying, so they're saying it's a big tent. And then
Yeah.
they say, well, what about this person? I don't know anything about what that person said. It's a
Sure.
big tent.
Yeah, and that's right. And deny
Yeah.
knowledge of it. Just say we're a big tent, which is, I guess, easier.
I just
You're
don't.
not endorsing,
The
and
question
you're not
is,
aligning yourself.
Will it work? I'm skeptical of it.
Well, I'm sure when they do the research, and
Yeah, they do. They
they
do a lot
look
of
at
research.
their base right now. That's what they're doing, is trying to.
Well, and it's not. Yeah, I mean, they're presented with a serious problem. You
Yeah.
have this small group of hardcore leftists who have taken over most of the party, and they are bringing in candidates that are hardcore leftists.
Well, when you say hardcore, I think it's more than that. I think it's socialist communism.
Well, sure.
Okay. it's not-
I'm equating the two.
yeah. Okay.
So they're socialist Democrats, communists.
They just come
they're-
out and say it. They do not hide
right.
it.
And that's not. I don't think that's popular enough to get elected with a majority of Americans.
And a lot of these ones that just Mandani endorsed want to shut prisons down. I want to do away with police. We want to open up borders. I mean, not something that the left is going to put on their website and say, this is what we stand for.
I mean, and that's not even what I would say, older classic Marxism or communism. It's the way that Marxism has evolved recently, because the old class-based Marxism has been shown to be a false paradigm. It doesn't work. And so they say, oh, well, we can't have a class war. We're going to have a race war.
You got to bring in new voters is what
and you have to create a new structure and saying if we separate people into white males and everybody else, we have enough to win.
You're not allowed to say white males. It's racist.
But I mean, I think that's sort of the structure there. They said, well, we're not popular with the working class, so we'll form another class that it'd be popular with.
They really have gone against the working class.
They have, very much so.
And I don't think the working class in large has woke up completely to that. But you've got some unions now that are supporting Republicans.
Well, they are, and I think there are a lot of, shall we say, blue collar workers. I don't know what else to call them, that are staunch Republicans now.
More so, and
they're Trumpians.
And there's been a big movement in some of the races, like
oh, sure.
And the one race that is the most solid Democrats, the black race, people of color. And
right.
They vote presidential elections 90+% for Democrats.
That's the history.
And Trump broke that up because did he get 20%? Something like that.
Something like that.
Doesn't sound like much.
He got like 30% of black males, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, something like
I mean, it was
but it was a significant move, even though it was nowhere near a majority.
But it's a move, and now you have people, black people on social media, talking about how much they love Trump.
Yeah, because
and you weren't. That wasn't. You were afraid your house would get burned down before.
Well, correct, because it has nothing to do with being black. It's your politics,
right?
Like Clarence Thomas has been attacked since the day he got Supreme Court nomination.
It is, and Thomas is a national treasure in my opinion. He's my favorite Supreme Court justice.
See, and I thought you were racist.
Well, you see, that's the thing. The way that racism is defined under the new Marxist theology is, if you are sufficiently leftist, you can't be racist.
Right.
And if you're not sufficiently leftist, you are racist no matter what your color is.
Oh.
So Thomas is not really black because he's not sufficiently left.
Yeah.
That's the way they look at things. And it's an absolutely absurd way to consider the universe, but that's what they do.
And they've been doing that for a while, but
a long time.
I think it gets harder for them, isn't it? It's more and more very visible people.
I think it does. Thomas,
I
don't know if you were going to talk about this, but he wrote this.
Oh yeah,
brilliant concurrence.
Yeah,
okay,
I do have that in here somewhere. That he's getting praised for. Truth bomb, they're calling it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I read it this morning.
We'll get to that. Yeah, I just got bits and pieces. I didn't have the whole thing to read, but very. I like him. I always have. He's not he's not a person that takes up a lot of time speaking. He takes up a lot of time listening.
He's brilliant. He's just plain brilliant. And he does it by simply adhering to truth. It's amazing. I mean, he he basically went from being a pretty far left. I think in college he considered himself a Marxist, or at least a communist.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that history. I didn't know
And
that.
well, I wrote his book, My Grandfather's Son,
Mhm.
and brilliant book, fascinating to read. I highly recommend it. And he talks about how he went from being far left to becoming a conservative, to becoming a real fan of the Constitution and the
Mhm.
protections and the of within the
Do
Constitution.
you mean logic turned him?
Yes,
Okay.
logic and
We need-
experience.
We need more logic out there. You know how we were talking about helicopters a little while ago, and about how they work, and I gave my understanding that they're just so ugly the earth repels them. Apparently, that's not true. Edward's trying to correct me.
Oh, well, goodness.
He sent me helicopter facts for kids.
Well,
So-
helicopters
so-
are fascinating machines,
Well,
and they're
They are
but they're complex. They're a lot more complex than a fixed wing aircraft.
very complex to fly, and very complex to have autopilots and stuff. Although I know they've
Right.
achieved it finally to where they could make them fly autonomous,
Well-
but that was a difficult.
One way that you can get around this, and you don't see it, it's not like a standard helicopter design, but these quad rotors and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
They're basically helicopters with several rotors, and because
Right.
the rotors can counter rotate and offset each other's rotational forces, and because each one can be controlled independently, they basically do all kinds of stuff and are that ordinary helicopters can't do.
correct, and they're very easy to fly. You know, your kids can get one real quick, and they'll hover in one place in space and not
Right.
move and stuff. They're very good. But a real helicopter, you know, because you control the pitch of the blade and the speed of the blade, both.
Well, and the rotor, the tail
And-
rotor
and-
is very important.
Well, that just keeps you flying straight.
Or
Otherwise you're-
turns you, allows you to turn. You
Right.
can. It's an important part.
Yeah, but if you didn't have a tail rotor, you'd be spinning.
Well, there's some designs that don't.
Yes, there's one that I know about.
There's
yeah.
at least one helicopter that has counter rotating two
Right.
rotors, one above the other,
Russia has a lot of those.
and there are also some designs that use sort
Tail.
of fins and a jet exhaust in
right.
back.
Yeah, but you need a with a
You need a way to counter the rotational effects of one rotor.
but there's so many ways that rotor moves because it tilts forward to go
Right,
to
and
go
then the
straight,
blades themselves tilt.
and the pitch
pitch.
tilts, the pitch will tilt, and then the speed.
Yes.
And so you've got to balance all that. So when you make any change, you've got to balance all three at the same time to keep altitude and to keep
I
direction.
have had pilots tell me that it's a totally different thing flying a helicopter than flying
Oh,
fixed wing.
Oh gosh,
It's
yes.
completely different set of skills.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's a complex, but people learn it and they become good at it and become.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, becomes. But the helicopter pilots tell me, well, it's kind of like rubbing your belly and patting your head.
Yeah,
you
right.
You gotta.
You got to do several things at the same time, and they don't always coordinate the way you intuitively think.
But you've got one hand doing, you know, the one thing, and your feet doing one thing, and the other hand doing something else.
Yeah, I probably
know-
got saved by my eyes because during the Vietnam War they were running out of helicopter pilots for the Army.
And they were gonna. You were thinking
And
about
they-
that?
well, yeah, they said, "Hey, you know, people need helicopter pilots. Are you interested?
I
Take
think-
these aptitude tests."
I think you would have enjoyed it.
Well, I might have got shot down, killed. Who knows?
Oh.
But so I took the aptitude test, and they said, "Wow, you have tremendous aptitude, but your eyes are bad." so,
Thank goodness.
so I didn't, and they were willing to compromise a little bit on the eyes. You know, I think they would only go to 2050
See,
or
that was
something.
below LASIK, before LASIK.
Right.
Although,
and
yeah,
and they basically said, "No, you don't make it." It was fun, and it worked out. Probably a good thing for me.
of course, with LASIK, you wouldn't have been able to go to combat or something like that because, and they told me when I got my LASIK surgery,
Uh-huh.
and you know, and what they do is they peel open the eye, take a layer of skin and just peel it back, do some laser inside, and put the skin back. But the eye doesn't completely heal right away.
The
It takes like-
cornea,
the
yeah.
cornea. It takes like a year or something. I mean, that way he said, well, if you get in a car accident and the force, you could
Yeah,
actually pop the lid back
I had a
off.
friend of mine said he wasn't interested in LASIK because if you got smacked, you know, if somebody hit you hard with a fist, it might mess up your
Dislodge
eye.
it. Yeah, it could. I guess. It never happened to me. I'm a nice guy. No one smacked me the whole time.
You're just smart.
Yeah.
You avoid confrontation.
But the eye doesn't really heal like the rest of the body.
No, it is different. I recently had to get my driver's license renewed, and so I had my eyes checked beforehand so I wouldn't get a surprise. And turned out I've got, the LASIK has held. I've got pretty good far vision, but I need glasses for reading.
Yeah. Well, the LASIK was amazing to me because I never saw 20/20 in my life because I had astigmatism.
Yeah, well,
that,
when I was 16, I found out that the world trees had individual leaves that
Yeah,
you
how
could
about
see.
that?
I was nearsighted.
Now, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Edward's correcting me
Oh, he is.
when I said, money is not finite. You can make it, or whatever. And he corrected me on that. He says, money is finite. Wealth is endlessly expandable by all. And I guess I'm equating them as the same.
I would disagree with Edward. We have all kinds of historical examples. The Weimar Republic, Venezuela, where they printed lots and lots of money. They could print as much money as they wanted. It didn't help.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, Germany did that after.
Yeah, Weimar Republic.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And there's endless examples. China, gosh, I mean, the current U.S. we have inflated. It's just that we inflate slower.
Yeah.
And the Fed has a target of, I think, around 2% a year.
But I think more than money, people want wealth, and that's
well, that's right.
No one disagrees with that's expandable. You can create wealth.
I think I thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think for most of human existence, the economy was close to a zero-sum game.
Okay.
Because you couldn't make more wealth faster than people grew the population.
All right.
So when you had an advance in, discovering agriculture or whatever, well, people got better off for a little while, and then the population expanded to meet that growth. It's a Malthusian concept, essentially. But about 500 years ago, we had the industrial and scientific revolutions.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, so we started doing
and so we found ways to expand wealth faster than the population grew, and then everybody that made the possibility of a prosperous society, and the U.S. realized that possibility. So in the United States, for the last 250 years, we've been expanding wealth faster than the population grows, and so we're a very wealthy society today.
Well, hopefully we can keep doing that because
we're on the edge of a golden age, and Elon Musk and Donald Trump are keys to it.
I think so. I think so. Whether or not they'll be able to do it,
well, yeah. I mean, if
the negative people may grab a hold of them and try to destroy them.
If we lose the midterms and the Democrats stop everything and say you can't drill for oil, can't have nuclear plants. We got to save the earth, and that means that everybody has to be poor.
The nice thing about being liberal, though, is even if they take over and they change everything that destroys the economy, they can still blame it on Trump. And
of course they will.
We just haven't been able to fix it. We haven't been able to fix it yet.
Yeah, right. The problems were so bad that we have to put another tax on everybody.
Right, and they could do that for decades.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what's happened in Europe. I mean, in Germany, they've destroyed their energy infrastructure.
But they're
suffering.
I don't think they're blaming Trump for that. They blame Trump now for other things. But
there's this woman I just was reading this report of I think ecological minister or something like that. It probably has a different title that I'm not getting right, in France.
Oh, yeah, I read that on Monday.
Yeah, and she says the reason that they're probably people dying in France because they don't have air conditioning is because the U.S. has air conditioning.
She actually was a deputy mayor of Paris.
Oh, I thought there was a minister at the federal.
I read from the deputy mayor, and she just went off on social media about United States is to blame because we spend 20% of all the energy, and we're the reason of global warming.
Yeah, well, that's pretty close. Might be the same person.
Yeah,
same thing I was reading, and I'm thinking you are clueless. You do not have a firm grasp of reality.
Well, that's what she said about us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we can't both be right. One of us is wrong, and it's not us.
Well, ask Edward for the answer, because
Edward would sure
'cause-
ask him.
well, if he
I'd
doesn't,
love to hear his answer.
he's got the researchers doing it.
Oh,
You know, he's
okay.
got artificial intelligence.
I've got real intelligence.
He made a comment about the Teslas. You know how they were burning Teslas. He said,
Yes.
He said burning Tesla dealerships made Musk money, and it hurt the working class because Musk was made whole by insurance. The insurance company hikes rates on the working class to pay for it, and the working class paid the extra insurance policies.
It's not completely false, but Musk has to pay for insurance too.
Right, but it probably hurt him the least.
I suspect so.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just irrational.
Okay. Edward's correcting. I don't think I want to read it because I don't want to get into a back and forth for the whole show.
Yeah, all right.
But he says you're wrong, by the way.
Well, he can have his opinion.
Money is a tool. Wealth is a human being create with it. Is what the human being can create with the money, with the tool. I understand that concept. We're not going to find a fight on that.
Yeah, that's not alien to me.
Yeah. And I think you'd agree with it. Wealth is different. Wealth is knowledge, innovation, productivity, relationships, and the goods and services that improve human life. When a farmer grows more food, an inventor creates a new technology, or a teacher shares knowledge, wealth expands.
Sure.
I agree with all that.
Sure.
Now, hopefully he's telling liberals.
And that is, it's a basic conceptual difference between leftists and conservatives. Conservatives tend to believe that wealth can expand and you can have more wealth. And leftists tend to believe it's a zero-sum game.
Yeah. And he says money measures value, wealth creates it. Well, I think value includes everything. Like if you put down, like, what are you worth? And you put down a spreadsheet, well, my house is worth this, my car is worth that. And it's not money.
But money is a way of measuring.
Yeah, you could say I got 100,000 in the bank.
And it's
say, okay,
some people said it's a way we keep score in civilized society.
I think it is score. I think that's what Edward works on, is score.
But and you have a problem when the scorekeeper changes the rules, and that's what happens with the inflation when you print a lot of money.
Well, that's why Edward pays attention to the rule changes.
Sure.
And most people don't near as closely.
I think, right. One of the bets I made is that I'd rather be in an index fund in the stock market than have government bonds. Because I think the index fund is basically for the U.S. stock market, for the Dow Industrial S&P 500, I think is the index fund that I'm keyed on. And it just it's a measure of how well the United States is doing as a society, basically. And the higher it goes, the better the U.S. is doing, essentially.
Yeah.
And so since I figure if the U.S. goes belly up, I got a lot worse problems than, where the money will already be worthless if the U.S. goes belly up.
Yeah.
So I'd rather bet on the index fund than on bonds.
And it's probably safer.
But if it's more variable, it will swing.
But I mean,
higher and lower.
But I'm sure it has a history for the last many years. It's going to end up in a certain area average,
And all of that is, you're dealing with a certain period of stability, shall we say.
Yeah.
Because the stock market crash was very real in 1929 to 1930. And it marked the end of an era. We put in a lot more safeguards, a lot more regulations on how stocks could be traded. Right. And at some point, the current system will have a crisis and crash and fail, and we'll have to put something else in its place.
Possibly, because we'll find a way to screw ourselves up. And
get
around it, whatever.
I mean, an asteroid could hit, There's all kinds of possibilities.
We don't know.
It looks to me like, that was his choice I made. I decided the stock market was a better bet.
Over time, I think we take our safeguards off because we don't have a reason for them, we think. And I'm going to use an example on that.
No, sure. Banking system.
Well, I'm thinking of banking and the housing. Well, you used to buy a house, you used to have money down, you used to have money in the bank, and we didn't have a lot of foreclosures and all that. Everything was
right.
You had to prove income and all that. And then that ended up being racist.
Well, and that came about after the stock market crash in the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
We built all that system after the 30s.
Oh, okay. And then they dissolved it thinking, well, that's racist. It's none of your business if
Yeah,
I
and that
have a
led to the
job. It's-
housing
it's none of your
crisis.
business.
Yeah.
And why do I need a down payment when the house is just going to value increase anyway? And we saw the result of that.
Yeah,
is
it was
a
terrible.
horrible crash.
Horrible crash.
Because we took all the safeguards off.
That's right.
Nobody had skin in the game. You
Well,
could buy a
but
house with your signature.
It wasn't just organic. Barty Frank worked hard to create that system where the safeguards were gone.
So we had to put the racist safeguards back in.
Well, I don't think they're racist.
Well, I'm using their terminology.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, not mine. I believe with you that they're not racist for real. I want to talk about weaponry. You know, the Ukrainian war and the Russia-Ukrainian thing has made so many advancements and stuff that are so surprising.
Well, yeah, drone. I call it the first drone war. It's not precisely correct because we had drones even in World War II. We had a form of drones. The Germans had the V2s and such.
But now they're highlighted.
It's just
a main weaponry instead of a sideline.
Yeah, right. They're incredibly important. And I think you can make a good case that the conflict that Donald Trump and Iran, Donald Trump initiated, or that's not quite right. The latest conflagration with Iran has been mostly a drone.
Well, which has been
dominated by a lot of drones.
Which has been surprising to me because we didn't really go into that prepared really for it, even though it's out there. By that, I mean,
well, the current administration, Trump administration, has jumped in with both feet trying to advance drone warfare for the U.S.
A lot of that advancement came after the start of Iran because we were getting drones sent at us. We were shooting them down with Patriot missiles. And that's the economic balance.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the lessons from the Ukrainian war.
Well, we had that lesson. We knew it. They've been going on 4 years. We still didn't have it on the Lincoln or on the Bush.
I think it was a mixed bag. I think we had some countermeasures. I mean, we probably used at least one laser system to try it out.
We did have some countermeasures, but most of the countermeasures were so expensive. We shoot down $30,000 drones with $1 million missile.
Right.
And
I think it's more mixed. I wouldn't say most. I don't
know.
But
within weeks.
Yes.
Within weeks, they decided, well, let's go get some of that Ukrainian stuff. And they did.
Well, we also had put up contracts to develop drones.
Yes.
In the U.S. and they were very successful.
But they weren't really part of that. And the part they didn't have is the anti-drone drone.
I think the anti-drone was not as well developed. You're correct.
Well, it was in Ukraine. They had them.
Okay, we're not in disagreement here.
No. But what surprised me is, but they got them very quickly. Which is unusual.
And that was a big part of the Trump push to shorten the cycle of getting innovation.
Yeah. Oh, they got them within weeks. Let's take a phone call. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Morning, boys. How are you?
We're doing really well. Don't you ruin it.
Well, I can add a little seasoning.
All right.
You guys talking about precious metals and gold a little bit ago? I'm getting in and out of the car as usual.
We're talking
we were talking about money a bit.
Yeah.
Money and what?
We're talking
money. We were just talking about money a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think we mentioned the precious metals, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, gold obviously can be used as a medium of exchange and legal tender. And
thousands of years.
But you know why it is finite as opposed to what I tried to explain, was it yesterday or the day before, about oil being infinite?
Well, we can't make gold from algae.
Correct.
And the sun is producing more energy all the time. So
but that's exactly why. Yeah,
it's a element, isn't it?
But I think it's
periodic table.
I think it's
you can advance mining technology, and that makes more gold available.
But it's finite on what's on the planet. We just haven't found it all. But I bet we could go to another planet and get it and make it seem like it's
some talk. There may be some in the asteroids.
Make it seem like it's not finite.
I'm talking about our spaceship being enclosed and sealed and not going off of it to get more gold.
Because it's an element,
that we're learning to get off it.
Even an alchemist needs lead to work with, right?
Yeah, but they tried for years to make it gold. It just didn't work out.
I did read somebody.
They're not making more.
Who was talking about one of the nuclear processes that was, I think, in fusion process, And they said as a byproduct, it tends to make some gold. Turned one element into gold. I forget what it was, maybe lead. And but it was, you had to operate a nuclear plant for a year to get a couple ounces of gold.
Never heard of that.
So not cost effective.
No, but it
Well,
was there.
not
I thought
at-
it was kind of
Not
interesting.
at $4,000 an ounce, but if it goes up, who knows?
Well, it's dropped recently. What's it at lately?
About 4. It was 5.
It's dropped. It dropped like 15% or something.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Well, it's time to buy.
I bought some gold. I mean, a while back.
Gonna let you go and
All right, buddy.
get
Take
back
care,
to
man.
my deliveries.
Take it. Bye-bye. On the weaponry, the thing I really want to talk about on the weaponry is some of the advancement and what Ukraine's doing right now with a new weapon that probably not new, but they put it together. Something called a DART. It's a balloon launch missile system.
Interesting.
A balloon. And what they do is they take like a weather balloon,
Sure.
which can carry up to
a couple kilograms.
Well, I had a list here. It was like the warhead on this one's 22 pounds on the DART.
That's
but
a
the
big
balloon-
weather balloon.
That's just the war.
That's probably the biggest weather balloon we make.
I think-
I dealt with weather balloons my profession.
Sure. I knew you did. The balloon was meant to haul 220 pounds.
That's a huge weather.
Relay station to an altitude of 65 feet.
Okay, so that's not really it's not a common weather balloon. It's some kind of extraordinary thing.
But they're using these things to take a missile. They put a missile hanging on it,
Sure.
and they just let the air carry it to the east, prevailing winds.
But you got to be careful about that because most of the wind comes from the west.
Right, comes
from the west to the east.
That's why I say it's carrying it to the east. The balloon.
Okay. But Ukraine is mostly to the
south of Moscow, but Russia's big.
Yeah, well, and the weather systems change, so you watch for what the weather is doing. You pick the right conditions.
But there's always a prevailing. There's a prevailing at altitude.
It can vary quite a bit.
We're talking like the jet stream. And
yeah,
stuff.
at those altitudes, you usually don't get a complete reversal.
That's the whole idea. And what they do, and they've floated more than 1,000 of them.
Wow.
Into Russia, and what these?
But those should be able to pick those up on radar.
Well, apparently they're having a hard time with it because they're flying so high and everything.
Well, and they're slow. They're going to be slow.
Well, so they don't need them to be fast. And now this missile that they let go, this DART, is designed to explode in airborne when it gets down low to the ground.
Sure. So
with
it's
graphite
creating an air burst.
Graphite pieces that take out power grids.
Interesting.
And it's putting a lot of Russia in the dark. And they think it's been very successful at slowing down their military complex.
Well, it makes sense because a modern society runs on electricity, and your manufacturing plants to produce munitions run on electricity. And if you don't have electricity, there's a good chance your trains are not operating properly.
When the balloon gets over its target or whatever, it drops the missile, and at about 7 to 10 miles, it runs on satellite guidance until it falls about 4 miles, where its navigation cuts out, the solid fuel engine kicks in, carries it to its course. It's already been set. You can't jam it because it's already been set.
Sure, it's going off inertial guidance by that point.
At that point, and it's gone, and it's so the radar jammers don't pull the missile off target. The company built DART to drop from a balloon rather than fire from a plane or launcher.
Ooh, interesting.
It's cheap, silent, electronic warfare resistant. Carry weapons deep into Russia.
I guess I'd just look at that and I'd say, well, the thing is, it's so high in altitude.
Yeah.
That it's beyond the reach of most
satellite. I mean,
aircraft.
Probably, but it's going to be hard to detect them, and they're moving
10
so
miles
slow.
Is 50,000 feet.
Yeah. So it's going to be hard for them to detect it, and
yeah, probably. I mean, if
they-
you look at it,
they're
you're going to
having
say that's a balloon package up there.
But even if they did, it's a cheap thing if they're going to spend $1 million missile to go get it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking on that. The missile to reach it would be pricey because it just, you have to have a pretty big missile to reach 50,000 feet.
Well, the And this missile's not small if it's got 22-pound warhead on it.
Well, that's not huge. I mean, you need a lot more than that to reach up to 50,000
Yeah.
feet.
Right. It's going to be more expensive.
Right. So
But-
they use probably helium, I'm guessing, to fill the balloon to take it up there.
Yeah.
And helium is probably a cheaper way. It's generally been a lot cheaper to haul something up with a balloon than to send it up by rocket. So that makes sense. That's how they could get the cost benefit ratio in their favor.
Right. And something that Ukraine says that Russia cannot duplicate this because the winds go the wrong way for Russia.
Why I'm picturing
Ukraine's south of Russia. The winds just aren't going to go south.
Yeah, but it's south and east, I thought.
No.
No, south and west. Yeah, south and west.
Yeah, they're not.
No,
Belarus might be able to launch a few of them, but and to
Yeah,
get parts of Ukraine, but
The
they
winds go from the west to the east. I
Well-
mean, as a meteorologist, I think they're correct. Yeah, because especially at that altitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get high up, the winds are much more consistently from
well, this
one
says the
direction.
balloon carried dozens of miles and releases it at over 26,000 feet altitude. It's only
Well,
26,000.
that's 26,000. Some of the aircraft can get up that high.
Yeah, but to detect them and know where they are,
Well, it's got to have some radar
I don't know.
signature if it's
Apparently-
a rocket.
Apparently, they haven't been good.
Of course, they wouldn't necessarily have to have a lot. I mean, it's mostly explosives and fuel. And you said graphite is part of the warhead designed for going after the electric grid. So that might give you a very low radar signature.
It says that this article says the cheap windborne balloons can bait Russia defenses into firing $1 million S-300, S-400 interceptors at a target that cost about $200,
Wow.
draining the batteries. Well, they're probably,
But that's probably not the
they're
missile.
probably sending some fake stuff.
Right, exactly. Decoys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, to put a balloon up there, I mean, we could launch at YPG, we routinely launch stuff beyond 24,000 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty common. And you could launch a balloon with a relatively small package
And this
for about, I think it cost us about $300 or something. They're saying 200, so that's
Yeah.
pretty close.
this Hornet missile is 7 foot long.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's about what I was picturing it
Yeah.
as.
So it's not small.
Right, but it doesn't have to expend any fuel to get to altitude.
No, it just does it as it's coming down.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Japanese incendiary bomb attacks on the West Coast.
Yeah, but this one's AI in it.
Oh, yeah,
it's
just got so much more-
directional.
It's got,
It's
the
it
processing
targets-
power is so cheap and tiny. now.
Yeah, it's not a hit or miss. I mean,
Right. You can put a particular target in there.
yeah,
It's going to be hard to jam the GPS at that altitude.
right. I just thought that it was like, wow, it's kind of brilliant stuff.
Well, it's very interesting. It shows, when your back's to the wall, you think better.
And they don't have an endless budget. And
Right.
in United States, as we get better and better at our war stuff and missiles, some of those missiles get to be $6 million a piece.
Sure. And as a defense contractor,
This is a $200 answer.
if you get cost plus, a $6 million missile is better for you.
Well, then we should make them $7 million.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the way the dynamic work, and Trump
make 'em more
administration
money.
is trying to change that. They're having pretty good success at it.
yeah, they do. I was reading the, where we're going on with Iran and all that kind of stuff. We're still in talks, by the way.
Right. Oh, it seems like we're continually in talks.
Well, let me take a quick phone call. Good morning, Mike.
All right.
Different phone.
Morning again.
How are you?
I got 11 minutes to my next drop off, so got a couple to jabber with you guys. Did
Okay.
you happen to see the picture I sent you via text?
No.
Okay, don't look at it yet. Answer this question.
Yeah.
What is the smallest operating diesel locomotive you can imagine or have seen that was pulling at least 5 or 6 train cars?
I don't know. You tell me.
Pretty freaking small. I mean, I know they had the little toy trains like in Scottsdale, or
Yeah.
they have that one in the park.
Yeah.
This thing looked like about the size of a diesel semi truck engine.
or smaller. And I'm looking at it now because I cheated. I didn't. I didn't follow your instructions. But I guarantee I would. That's
You
not
never listen to me.
that's not for long haul though. I bet it's just moved
No.
rail cars around from in the yards. Is all. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was amazing. I've seen, the hay. There's other stuff that picks up containers and real small and that. But it was kind of interesting. I was on railroad tracks and watching this thing. It was pushing and then pulling. It had to do both because it had to. I guess they were switching the tracks up and whatnot to get it to the right location. But I thought that was pretty dang interesting.
Yeah, it is. I've never seen one of them, but I could see why they want that for sure.
And that was right at 3E by the adult superstore.
It looks like you're just moving a little train around. All right, buddy. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah,
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Let me see. I know we have Howard finding his way in here.
I'm trying to find my way in.
How are you, sir?
We got a lot of wires here this morning.
Well, yeah, I didn't yet set up for you. I mean, I wasn't expecting you for like 2 minutes ago.
Okay. Sorry, I'm early.
You're not early. You're right.
You're right on time.
You're right
Just
on
what
time.
we expect.
Do we?
I do. I expect that from Howard. He's always been on time.
Is that working?
Yeah, but how you turn down the volume?
I don't know. Is that one yours? No, that was
That's
his.
mine.
That was his. How about that? That was mine. How about that?
Too loud. Do the other way.
Right there? Too loud still? How about now?
Perfect.
Got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to see
Good
you.
morning, gentlemen.
Nice to see you.
How are you?
Doing
Haven't
good.
seen you.
Haven't seen you
you
for
for-
quite
I
a long
don't-
time.
I don't-
Dog's age.
Yeah. However long that is, but it's a long time.
Yeah, I've been. I've been. I suspect we both have been very busy.
I guess, Dean.
Yeah,
But you look good.
because you
Yeah,
both don't
you
work.
do too, and
That's
yeah.
right.
See, I stay busy because I don't have a job.
That's right. That is
You're a
weird.
business owner. You run this radio, this podcast now. I mean, you do a lot of stuff. You got a lot of irons in the fire. Of
course,
he's
yeah.
one of these people who only has to sleep about 4 hours a night.
That's right.
Right. The and for those that don't know, Howard Blitz is here, but the Freedom Library is his, is his
yeah.
main
It is.
function right
It
now,
is.
I think.
It is.
And you've been main functioning that for 25, 30?
30 years. We're
30
celebrating
years.
30 years. That's why we got a big book sale going on
Yeah,
right now.
great place.
All year long, you can get this books at
That's
huge discounts. So come on down.
That's amazing. If I remember right, you were an old man when you started it.
Yes.
Ah,
and now I'm a young man.
There you go.
There you
See,
go.
I'm only 22 this
There,
year. I'm only going to turn 22 this year.
Benjamin Button.
That's it. I'm going backward. I'm counting it down, man. It's the only way to go.
Well, go figure. You got a flyer marking the Independence Day for a special 250th celebration,
is.
as you should. Have we been doing enough of that in the nation? Have we been? Someone mentioned to me that the 150 years ago was more advertised and more, more stuff was.
It may appear that way. It might have.
I don't know if that's my memory that makes it appear that way because it was 50 years ago.
Yeah, no,
it's
I
50.
can't remember 5 days ago. But
Yeah. Well, I remember a little of it. It seems like maybe it was a little more patriotic. It's hard to measure. I was 50
my
years
daughter
younger.
was born 50 years ago.
Is that
She's a
right?
bicentennial baby.
Wow.
I can't believe that. I can't believe I've got a 50-year-old daughter.
Does she have a special present this year then?
I guess so.
I mean, get her another one. Do we have any coins commemorating this one?
Give her a
Yeah.
framed
I'm
copy.
sure there is. I haven't.
I mean,
I don't
U.S.
think I've seen it.
U.S. Mint coins. I mean, I
I
know
think
we-
there is. I think there is. I think
Okay,
I've
I'll
seen
have
it,
to take a
but
look.
but I haven't studied
Yeah.
it. But yeah, it's a big day Saturday. This is
It's
quite
coming,
a.
it's coming up.
It's a once in a lifetime. I mean, I don't know how many
yeah.
people are going to be around for the next 250.
well, you're have
or
you,
even 50
have
years.
you put your reservation in for the 300?
I was not at all sure I'd make the 250 on the 200th.
Yeah,
No, wait.
really.
I just saw that the oldest person in the United States right now is 115. So technically, I could make it.
Yes,
Yeah.
technically.
I don't know if I'd be out of bed to go celebrate.
Well, even counting down, I'm not going to make it. I'm
you
not going to, because I've only got 22 years.
Yeah, well, some people are claiming that we're going to start getting younger in a few years.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's
Benjamin.
the case, I might make 350.
There you go. Could happen.
No,
But you do have a special one going
it
on.
is. This is a special deal, and we're going to be not only listening to a dramatic reading by 14. No, I don't know how many actors. I can't remember, but by some very well-known actors. You're going to recognize all of these people.
Well, I have them
as they-
listed here. Ray Charles and Celine Dion.
Well, they're going to be singing.
Well, good. That's what they do.
That's what they do. Yeah, he's got a 50th rendition of America the Beautiful. We're going to listen to.
He's well noted for that.
Yep, and we're going to listen to Celine Dion sing a beautiful, beautiful rendition of "God Bless America."
Of course, it says you have Paul Harvey now. He's passed. So
He's passed.
So is this AI or
so,
recording?
So has Ray Charles. He's passed
Oh,
too.
okay. Yeah, that's right.
But Paul Harvey, he's really got a great explanation of what happened to these 56 people that signed the document.
Okay.
And he talks about one in particular that we here in Yuma have kind of direct connection with.
Oh.
I'm
Yuma
unfamiliar. I'm unfamiliar.
Well, you're gonna have to come and find out
Okay.
on Saturday,
And I can get the rest of the story.
and you can get really the rest of the story. You're gonna get the rest of the story, but it's quite fascinating, and we hope that it's not only entertaining but educational. You're gonna find out
Yeah.
about a bunch of different things about this document,
And-
we're gonna do a little history of it, why or how it came to be, and it's going to be exciting. I
Good.
think it's going to be. I think it's going to be.
What's amazing, you still get excited about this, and you've
Yeah.
been doing this stuff for 30 years.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
freedom's an exciting topic. It's great to be a free person. Who wants to be a slave? I don't know anybody that wants to be a slave.
And
Well,
they just don't admit it.
I don't know. There's a lot of politicians getting elected as
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Something close to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking away all our liberties
Yeah,
would be
well, when you-
fine with them.
Well, if our taxation rate ever gets to be 100%, well, I don't know. What is the definition of a slave? 50% of your income gone, or 75%, or what?
110.
110.
Yeah, I'd say when you can't leave the plantation.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting pretty
That-
close.
Yeah, and some things, and it's something we really need to know. And we talk about it a lot in here about why we've got people that are looking for an alternative form of government, and maybe we haven't done the education we need to do. We haven't been
Yeah.
teaching the civics, and the stuff that you're
Yeah.
doing isn't
Yeah.
getting done as thoroughly in education, probably.
Maybe not.
I-
I'm well,
Definitely not for the colleges. A lot of the colleges have gone full blown
well,
leftist.
I can't answer what anybody teaches because I don't know what they teach.
Grade
in
school, high school, junior
Yeah.
high, and all that kind of stuff.
I just know what we do with our Constitution class and our economics class, and that's where we provide scholarships for people. As a matter of fact, that's another thing you're going to be able to win. You're gonna have the opportunity by just attending the event Saturday. You can win one of 4 $1,000 scholarships just by attending.
Well, then I'll be
It's-
there.
Yeah, you should be. That way you can win a scholarship.
I need a scholarship.
And but you'll also get a commemorative edition of the Declaration of Independence, a 250 edition. But yeah, I don't know what is being taught in schools. I have no idea, but I
Well-
just know that we're trying at the Freedom Library through our scholarship classes. We try to teach from the founders' viewpoint, what the founders thought, how they viewed the world, and help people understand how their perspective on things.
I was a year out of high school, and when we did the 200th, and I mean, every business, everything I remember was on fire, celebrate. I mean, demonstrating or putting a poster up or something to denote their pride in America. I don't see it like that right now. In fact, CNN just did a survey of people that were going to present a flag or fly a flag, and compared it to what it was like 20 years ago. And they broke it down by party. And I know you don't like politics, but I'm going to mention it. But they broke it down by party. And they said like 20 years ago, it was 67%. I'm going to get close, but I mean, I'm exact. 67% of Republicans were going to fly the flag or something. And like 64% or 63% of Democrats. But now the Republicans have dropped down to like 64, 63, and the Democrats have jumped down to 26. You know, that there seems to be a real shift of people that are not proud of our country that are running for office.
Well, it's not so much about pride as it is about understanding what it means to be free. What we need to have more discussion about, well, what does freedom mean? What does it mean to be free? How does that work? What is the function of the government? We should have discussions about that. Is it the government's job to provide stuff for all of us?
No.
You know what's its function? Why was it even developed in the first place? You know, all these rights that we have, these inalienable rights, they all pre-existed government.
Right.
And so we need to have more of a discussion like that, because that's what the founders understood. And once you have kind of a consensus on that, or a basic understanding of what that's all about, then we can start talking about electing so and so for government.
Well, but I agree with you that if it's working, I mean, if we understood it, I think we would do a better job of supporting it. And right now, I don't think we do. I think we have so many naysayers that capitalism doesn't work or something.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand it. They don't understand the republic and what we've got.
Yeah.
They just don't. So they fight against it, push against it. And I think that, you know, we're in for real trouble if this thing goes forward, because we're going to be like all these other countries that lose what they got, and we don't know it until we lose it.
Yeah, I agree. It's an education issue that we have in this country, and education is the key. I think it was Thomas Jefferson, or one of the founders, that said to have an uneducated society and a free society is impossible to have. I'm paraphrasing there, but it won't happen. So
I recall that. Yeah, I just don't recall who said it, but it was one of the founders.
But it was one of the founders, but it's paraphrased because it's not. Not exactly. That's not the exact quote, but it's
pretty close.
It's something to that idea, and so that's why education is the key. I was just reading somewhere on, it was on Facebook this morning. I probably can't find it, but it was talking about Spain. And it's got free healthcare, free this, free that, free everything. Yes, taxes are much higher, but there's very little crime. I mean, just
in Spain.
Wow. It's a democratic socialist society. That's what the guy called it.
Crime's going up.
And I mean, I don't know how much of that is true. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in Spain. I've only been there once. And that was 5-6 years ago.
Oh.
Well, it says that they have a lower crime rate than the United States.
Yeah. You know. I mean, it's possible.
It's possible.
Of course. But what is freedom? You could say, gosh, if you were back in the South in the mid 1850s, you said, well, if we would give the slaves fewer lashes, more food, better housing. Well, yeah, that's all fine and good, but you're still a slave. So, what are we talking about here? These are the kinds of discussions that we need to be having in this country.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be free? You could say, well, look how much better we've given the slaves. Look at how much a better life we gave them.
There are a lot of people made that argument.
But the slaves, they're still not free.
No.
Okay. So what kind of an argument is that?
Well, there are some people that don't value freedom.
Yeah. Well, some
unfortunately-
people do want to. I mean, it is much easier to be a slave because you don't have any decisions
Yeah,
to
you don't have to
make.
make a
Right,
decision.
exactly.
And there's people that would like to get that in there. I left the phones on, so let me take
Go-
this call.
yeah,
Join us.
go-
Good morning,
go for it.
Sandy.
Good morning. I'll keep it quick. With
Oh.
your guest on there, my question is, did any of you catch the presidential 1776 competition that aired on CBS last night?
No.
It started
sorry.
with, I sent you a little bit of video, but
Right.
it's something, I don't know how you would do it, but somehow it would be great to share with other people. But it started with 8,000 kids competing. They had to study the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and different founders and different people who input into creating the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And I can't describe it all, but these kids had to study a lot, and got to see 8 of the competitors on the CBS show. They narrowed it down until they had the 3 finalists, and then they were taken to the Oval Office where they got to meet President Trump.
Wow.
It was outstanding.
Oh.
So it fits with your guest there. And I'm sorry he didn't see it,
Yeah,
I'm
because
sorry
that's
too.
his bailiwick.
I'm
We're going to
sorry.
give him
Maybe he
homework.
didn't know about it.
I didn't.
Thank you, Sandy.
Well,
Thank
okay,
you.
I'm
Thank you.
informing you,
All right.
Thank
and
you.
it's something you could share in your class. These are high school kids
Okay.
Wow.
that competed,
Okay.
and the winner got a $125,000 scholarship, and then the second one got a $50,000 scholarship, and the third one a $25,000 scholarship.
Oh.
And President Trump gave him a coin. Anyway, it's quite a big deal, and it's something that's wonderful to see.
Did he give him a hat? Too?
And I know
Did he
you
give-
want to get back to talking
Well,
about other stuff.
I hope he gave him a signed MAGA hat at the same time. right.
Well, I'm just telling you. You know, we talk about how these kids are not educated.
Not enough.
These
of them.
kids were all working and competing and studying, and all around the country. And then they narrowed it down. So it's wonderful to see.
Yes, it is.
It is.
That's
That's
good.
great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Wow,
We've
that's-
already
oh.
turned things around. Not all the kids got a participation trophy.
Does that ever happen? Yeah, it does.
No, that's terrific. I mean, it's not to say nobody is educated. I don't want to insinuate that at all.
No,
But
but
more and more people need to find out about these things, and this is great. This is a great that these kids will participate. What did you say? 8,000 started or something like
Yeah,
that.
8,000.
Yeah. So that's terrific. That's 8,000 more kids.
it's a good start.
Yep.
Well,
it
Well,
is.
you're absolutely right, Howard, because every generation has to defend freedom or it goes away.
Yeah. You have to learn this. Unfortunately, we don't have a needle to inject all this information
No.
into your body.
I'm
That's
sure,
not how it works.
I'm sure someone's working on that.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll bet you somebody is. But you're right, Dean. Every generation has to learn this because they don't know.
Right.
I mean, how did you and I? How did any of us?
This
learn
is
any of this?
hard-won knowledge through experience of thousands of years of civilization.
Yeah.
The founders didn't start with nothing.
Oh,
They had the classics.
Yeah.
They learned from the experience of the Greeks, of the Romans,
Yeah.
of England. The great glorious revolution only was about 100 years before our
Yeah.
revolution.
Yeah.
They learned from all of that and what worked and what didn't. They looked at the Spartans. They looked at the Athenians. They looked at how the Roman emperors, the mistakes they made and how things worked and did not work. They were extremely well-educated people.
And they were educated from this similar background, if you will. They all
Right.
had a similar
Well,
background.
because they considered they were all basically from the English cultural tradition.
Mhm.
And England was working, had worked its way toward formal limitations on government,
Yeah.
but it wasn't quite enough.
No, because don't forget, not everybody was considered free.
Yeah, exactly.
At the time of the Declaration,
No.
they were trying to form a more perfect union, and
Correctly.
and
Exactly
But
right.
based upon the history of the American experiment with this idea on freedom, we've come a pretty long way. We're not there yet. We got a long way to go,
Yeah.
but still we're moving in the right direction if you think about it. Even over the thousands of years of history of mankind having freedom, more and more and more and more people have gained
Well,
individual
the
liberty.
American experiment has been one of the most successful
Yeah.
and important changes in theory about government
Yep.
and that has ever happened.
Yep.
And every country afterwards has copied it.
More or
No,
less.
More or less, more or
Yeah, a
less.
little bit.
There's
But
only
I think the future holds promise in that regard.
absolutely, I think so.
Because we're moving in the right direction. Look at how far we've come in, heck, 2,000, 4,000 years. What?
Yeah.
The Israelite days, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
We've come a very long
Well, and
way.
a lot of this is technological progress,
yeah.
and technological progress in the last 500 years has just
Oh my
exploded.
gosh.
We haven't
you
seen
know,
anything yet.
accelerating,
Yeah.
accelerating. I mean, my grandparents lived through amazing technological change. My parents lived through more amazing, and I'm living through even incredibly more. And my children are living through change that's happening so fast you can hardly comprehend it.
Don't you love talking to the kids that when I grew up, I didn't have a cell phone? Like, oh my God, they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when I tell them that my grandparent was a trapper and a farmer and a hunter, and they go, whoa.
So in 500 years, the three of us, well, we won't be here, but in 500 years, people will be sitting they won't even be needing microphones. They'll just
Yeah.
brainwaves.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah, could
telepathy.
be.
Musk is working on that too.
So it's going to be silent in the studio.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I don't know, but 500 years from now, we might be planning an expedition to Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Who knows? I mean, the solar system will probably be well settled by then.
Well, you never know. It's pretty big.
Oh, we didn't tell anybody where your celebration is going to be, but it looks
Historic Yuma Theater downtown is a beautiful, beautiful venue, and we want to thank the city for allowing us the use of it.
and it's going to be right there on the 4th. I mean, it's going to be on the day,
On the day,
10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, the doors open. So come on down, get a piece of cake on your way
Oh,
in.
there's cake.
There's cake.
You
Well,
didn't
what's
put
a
that-
birthday party without cake?
Yeah.
You're going to
put
have
that
coffee
down.
too?
No, we'll have water though.
Bring
Oh,
your own
okay.
coffee.
No, yeah, bring your own coffee.
Yeah.
But we'll have water and we'll have cake on your way in. What else? Oh, we don't have ice cream. Sorry, it's gonna melt.
Too bad.
It's just not gonna work. So cake and water.
and just attending, you get your name in to win the scholarship.
Absolutely.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a fun
Wow.
time
Yeah,
to me.
it is. It's gonna be a blast.
And if you don't know all the details, you've got a website out there.
We do, and you can check it out.
thefreedomlibrary.org.
thefreedomlibrary.org. Historic Yuma Theater this Saturday.
Or just call Howard.
Or just call me.
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
call
how many
me.
phones do you have, Howard,
only-
available for this?
But this is your phone number on here.
That's a phone number, 246-2327.
Yeah. He puts
That's-
it on all his
that's
flyers.
fine.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
fine.
just saying. That's,
Yeah,
but-
that's great.
This Saturday, July 4th,
Yeah,
10 a.m. to noon. Doors open at 9.
Looks like you have some
We got-
other stuff going. Oh, August. We got time to
Oh, yeah.
study for that.
Well, we got the classes starting.
Classes start in August. August
August.
18th for
And-
economics and the
and-
20th for the
That's
Constitution.
it. Of course, we got the big book sale all year long. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
help-
used paperbacks are only 30 cents.
Yeah. Help Howard out. He's got a lot of books. He wants to move some inventory.
We got to move it because we
I'll
get.
bet there's some really good ones too.
Yeah, there are. Well, I think they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is great. We got great biographies. We got children's books. We got all kinds of books there. So,
Oh,
so it's
see,
a lot of
for
fun.
the classes, you're ages 14 and up. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of smart 14-year-olds.
We have a lot of. Actually, we had an 11-year-old one year.
Well, you kind
Got
of
a-
bent the
received a-
rules.
Bent the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, we bent it. So, somebody was asking me, "Can I bring my 12-year-old son in?" It's just absolutely.
Yeah. It comes.
No, we use 14 just because I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have some
the
boundaries.
level, the level of learning that some of these kids, but some of these kids are pretty sharp, and so I don't have a problem. But anyway, we've had age 14, we have had age 70. We just had a 70-year-old earn
Wow.
one of the scholarships. And
Earn a
so-
scholarship?
Yeah, he won a scholarship.
Wow.
He's going to theological seminary, and
At 7 years old?
70.
Oh, 70. Okay.
70.
I was going,
He
wow.
was 70.
Yeah, 70 is a little different.
And most of the 70-year-olds that have one, and we've had several, they go on the travel scholarship. But this one was attending school,
Yeah.
theological seminary, so
And it-
he got the academic scholarship.
and you are a library. I mean, it's
Yeah.
called the Freedom Library, but you
Yeah.
really have books
Yeah, we have books
that
to
you can check out.
check out or buy,
buy.
either way.
And you've got used paperbacks for 30 cents, hardbacks, everything's $1. Any hardback?
The used hardbacks.
Used
Yeah,
hardback.
all the new books are a third off. We're trying to represent the 30. Get the number 3 in there somewhere.
Get the 3 in there, 1/3.
Maybe anticipating the 300th anniversary.
Is that what it is?
Well, we're celebrating the Freedom Library is celebrating
30th
30
anniversary.
years,
Yeah, okay.
while America is celebrating 250.
50. Well, you've been instrumental in helping that
So,
along, Howard. You've
well,
done great work.
Well, thank you. I do what I do because I love it.
Yeah.
I love freedom, and
But
I think it's very valuable
it
because
doesn't-
without individual liberty, you don't have much of a life. I mean, you're a slave, and how much of a life does a slave have? So
Yeah.
we go back to that question again. Those are the kind of questions that need to be discussed.
I guess it depends on the ownership.
Yeah,
Well, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Joseph was a slave
Yeah.
and he attained very high status.
yeah. Well, he's still a slave. So
Yeah, right.
these are the kinds of discussions that need to be had, and we hope that people will take away from this event on Saturday, one of wonder, thought, have discussions with their family members and their friends, and just have more discussion about this, because that's what needs to be discussed.
Well, and I want to say that Howard is one of the people that keeps liberty alive. And you have to have people like Howard to keep liberty alive in the United States. It has to be transmitted from generation to generation. And Howard has done enormous amount of work.
Well, at
And-
times you'll bring Ben Franklin in or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's-
we've had Ben,
It's just wonderful.
but he
And I-
passed away.
and I
Oh, really?
Yeah, several years ago.
And
Okay.
I want to
Yeah.
personally thank Howard for
Well, thank you.
all of the tremendous work you've done over the
Thank
last 30 years.
Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it. But it's been fun. It's been fun.
Well, that's another thing. You're passionate
Mhm.
about it. So it,
One of the
You know, it's
one of the
worthwhile.
listeners made a recommendation for you. Said the Freedom Library should bring down the Thomas Paine one-man show. Do you know anything about that?
No, but when I spoke to the guy one time that portrays Thomas Paine, he told me that you really don't want me there.
Why?
I guess Thomas Paine was something different than what I anticipated.
he was a real revolutionary.
Yeah, but from what I don't know, gathering from this guy,
Right.
he wasn't. I don't know. I'm
Well,
not-
nobody's perfect. So what did he say?
Exactly, and I can't remember exactly what he said.
my,
But
my lister says he's a proto-socialist.
yeah,
Yeah, some people have said that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what this guy said.
Yeah, and
And
he
I
was
said, "You really don't want me there?" And I thought, "Really?"
Yeah.
well,
Because I didn't know that about him. At the
Paine
time.
was very much in favor of the French Revolution.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah,
and
the
that
French
wasn't-
Revolution turned out to be a
Yeah,
disaster.
that was bad news. That was
Yeah,
bad news.
terrible.
But I don't know. But he wrote a nice pamphlet.
Well, he did.
Common sense,
He
so,
did.
and
He
inspired
contributed.
us.
He contributed quite a bit
Yeah.
to the American independence.
Yeah. But this gentleman was talking about that aspect of him. So,
But
yeah,
he,
Thomas Paine never came to Yuma.
okay, but he wrote Common Sense, which
Yeah,
is
I know. That's
very instrumental in
I know.
the revolution.
Well, let's
Yeah.
see. who am I confusing him with someone else who gave the speech, give me liberty or give me death?
Yeah, Patrick Henry.
You're right. Yeah.
Now Patrick
you've had
Henry,
Patrick.
and we had Patrick Henry here, and Patrick Henry was definitely a guy who understood individual liberty
very much so,
because he persuaded everybody to get off the dime and go fight.
When shall we be stronger? Yeah.
Yeah, because we were at a point, we tried every which way to work with the king, and the king wouldn't have any of it. He said, "You're done." Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I
mean,
think
we really didn't want to rebel. We really didn't want to separate. We really,
right up to the Declaration of Independence,
really.
people were saying, "Can't we make a reconciliation?"
Yeah, they tried. They tried, but it just wasn't going to work, which is too bad.
Well,
because all they wanted, most people, all they want their government to do is leave them alone. But for some reason, government doesn't want to leave people alone.
Well,
I don't know.
I think the king saw the colonies as his personal fiefdom, and he did not. He felt that there was no reason to give them any political power.
That's right.
And that's where the big
brouhaha
came from. If the king had said, you colonies, each one of you send a representative to the parliament, I think he could have stopped it.
Yeah.
But we were slaves to the parliament. We were.
Well, we became enslaved because don't forget, 150 year over the 150-year period prior to 1775. I mean, the people living over on the East Coast there were pretty free. I mean, they were going about their business, making their living, raising their kids, yada yada yada.
The only contact they had with England was like a 2-month ocean voyage.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's hard to keep much control.
Yeah, exactly.
They were micromanaged.
Yeah.
Well,
but the king unfortunately made war with the world, and he needed money to pay for this stuff. And that's what governments do when they go to war with people. They need money, and there's only one source of money for government, and that's taxes. There's no other source. There's no other source of money. And it takes money to fight.
And he didn't like the colonies grumbling about it.
Nope. No. So
there's a basic disagreement. The king thought, "Hey, you colonies, you got to pay for some of this defense."
Yeah.
And the colony said, "Hey, we went and fought in the Indian War. Why should we pay more?"
Yeah.
And they disagreed. Yeah. It was a fundamental disagreement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it got nasty.
Well, and this is why we need to have more discussion rather than more war, because if you have discussion, then you have less war.
So, probably. Let me know when we get there.
Well, yeah, we got to stop making war and we got to start talking more.
I think we have less war since World War II than historically is the case.
Yeah, that's an interesting
I
thought.
think we are in what I would call Pax Americana, where the United States took the place of Great Britain in enforcing freedom of the seas and, trying to prevent, and also, of course, the nuclear thing was big because you have nuclear powers that don't want to really exchange nuclear weapons. And so they skirt around the edges. They have, the Cold War, which had some hot spots like Vietnam and Korea.
Mm-hmm.
But even those hot spots never got into anywhere near the conflict World War II was.
Aren't wars created a lot of times just because you got stuff and I want it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you negotiate that.
At least I was taught that in my first ROTC class.
I mean,
it's called MYOB, mind your own business.
Well, you could say that. It's like you can to the bully on the playground. It's going to take your lunch money.
Yeah,
you can either go to war or give him your lunch money.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And what a book I'd recommend. I don't know if you've ever read it, Howard, but it's a fantastic, interesting book. It's called War Before Civilization. And this guy was somebody who digs up ancient remains of people. I'm trying to think there's a name for that. Like an archaeologist, but there's a more specific name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he said that within the community, they went to great lengths to cover up evidence of warfare in ancient societies.
Why?
Because they said, well, everybody knows man's peaceful. and
Oh.
it was the noble savage idea.
Yeah.
You know, these people, these tribal people, they never have warfare. Well, no, that's not true. It turns out they have more warfare than anybody.
Yeah.
And the more civilization you get, the less warfare you have.
Yeah.
And old societies, prehistoric societies, and there's pretty good evidence out there now from a number of different sources that about 1 out of every 6 people was killed by another person.
Wow.
A really high level of homicide.
Yeah.
And the more civilization you get, the lower percentage of people get killed by other people. Kind of weird, but it's true.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Huh. Interesting.
So the Rousseauian idea of noble savages, and actually, if you read Rousseau, he doesn't really say the concept that's come to be of noble savages are better than us.
Yeah.
He just says civilization is a way of corrupting people. And in
Interesting.
some ways that happens.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson had the same idea.
Yeah.
You know, urban was tended to corrupt people and rural societies were more virtuous. I
Yeah.
think there's some truth in that.
Yeah. What is that theory about putting more and more?
Well, you get so many people close together and you get some
Yeah.
anonymity and people are able to commit crimes and
Yes.
get away with it more
Well,
easily.
but they get agitated.
Well, and there's that.
Easier.
Yeah, that's true. So it's a mixed bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we need to be more civilized then.
I'd say so. I
so,
think
yeah.
civilization is good.
Yeah.
And I think the U.S. has evolved probably the highest form of civilization in the world to date.
Yeah.
You talk
Well-
about the Swiss. The Swiss are not bad, but they're not the U.S. and they're a small society. But they also have limited government, just like us. It's
Well, I was
just a
just gonna
different
say,
form of
I
limited.
was just going to say, the more individual liberty and freedom people have, the better, the more peaceful the society is going to be, I think.
Right. And I think our founding fathers,
They realize that.
they did, and they said you have to have some government,
yeah. But,
but
it's
we
got to be
we
limited.
don't want too much government.
Got to be limited.
Yep.
And so that's why they
We're
delineate.
still making that fight right now.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. That's
yeah.
a big
About how much
fight right
government do we
now.
want?
It is. It is.
And have you ever seen it so violent though? I mean, caustic.
Yeah. Well.
I
it's
lived through
been-
the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Little
rough.
bit.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
rough. Even at the U of A campus, we had our own issues.
You know,
While I
I
was
went
there.
through a lot
yeah.
of demonstrations at
Yeah.
University of Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and there were
Yeah.
bombings. And I saw the Sterling Hall after it got bombed,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I would say it was more violent then, but we're on track to get worse.
I think so.
But
A
the
lot of
more
people like to push it.
Yeah, the more government you have, the more violence, because that's what government is. Government is a violent entity. It doesn't know how to work any other way. That's why the founders try to restrain it through the Constitution.
Right.
And that's all the Constitution tries to do, is to restrain this power, because it's absolute power.
And government always wants to expand it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the natural.
That's the nature of it.
But that's the nature of it. Well, it's
Yeah.
the nature of any human being to expand, to want to have more.
I think
which
that's
which
true.
is fine. You know, in the peaceful sense, in the corp, you know, in trying to garner as much wealth as you want. Okay, but government's not a business. Government's not an entity. It's literally force. It's legalized force.
Mm.
And so when we ask government to do anything, it has only one means to get it done, and that's through the use of force. It doesn't have any other.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start utilizing force on people, well, they don't like that. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody wants to have force used.
It's probably 1 out of 6 people were
Yeah,
killed,
yeah.
you know, back before you had much government.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
you know, government has purposes, and
Oh,
you
yeah, no, no.
understand that. So
course it
you need
does.
enough, but you you don't want too much.
Well, you have enough to where, well, what can you, how,
You need a court system.
well, when can you legally use force? You know, you can use it to defend your inalienable rights. Well, that's what the government's in existence for, to defend your inalienable rights. That's
I
all.
think that's in the
That's-
Declaration, kind of they talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. And certainly in the Constitution, too, you know, fortunately, we had far-sighted people who insisted on a Bill of Rights.
Yeah, yeah.
And that
we did.
wasn't in the original
Sorry.
Constitution.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
So, and it's proven to be one of the most brilliant things that
Yeah.
people put into our government.
Mm.
I think it's
people in the government can want to continue to take some of the Bill of Rights, right?
Yeah, no kidding. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
Particularly
absolutely.
the Second Amendment and
right.
parts of the
How,
First.
how about the 4th and the 5th?
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
Especially the 4th today.
One of the few amendments that hasn't been attacked is the Third Amendment. You know,
Yeah, well,
don't quarter soldiers in your homes.
Yeah, that's about the
we're
only.
waiting. I'm waiting on that.
I am too.
I hope not.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
And part of it is we've become so much more prosperous, and
Yeah.
we've become, I think, so much more prosperous because of the freedom in the United States.
Absolutely.
It's an intrinsic part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you have freedom, people can garner as much wealth as they choose. And that's the key. It's all about choice. You know, who gets to do the choosing?
But
Yeah.
in our society, the brilliance of our society and the founders was, in order to get wealth, you have to please other people.
You can't
You
get
can't
it.
just take it.
You
You've
can't
got to
get it any
convince
other way.
them to give it to you.
You can't get it any other way because as soon as that's called theft.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe.
right. That's the name for that.
Well, taxation could be described as such.
Well, I think so, and so that's why we have limits, you know. And it's
Well, you're right.
it's a balancing act.
It is a balancing
It's
act.
not easy.
It's not easy.
We've got a lot of factions demonizing wealth right now, which has
Oh,
been an
yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
difference. You know, we hear politicians all the time talking about, billionaires are terrible. We need to take their money.
Yeah, but those same billionaires, they're billionaires themselves.
Probably, yeah.
So, I mean,
But-
you hear these people that are very, very wealthy and they think, well, we need to take more money. The billionaires have got all the money and they're billionaires themselves. Wait a minute.
Just don't take it from us. Eat
Yeah.
us last.
Yeah.
It's a silly
The irony
argument.
is incredible.
It
But
is.
we're heavily taxing success.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want less of it because normally when you tax something, you get less of it.
Well, and that's why discussions need to take place about, okay, what do you want? What do you want government to do? Well, I want to just protect my rights, period. So you had mentioned the court system. I mean, what's the referee in the football game supposed to do? Is it supposed to penalize the team that's winning 60-0?
Right. Yeah.
What's it supposed to do? Favor one team over another because they're doing so well, or
Enforce the rules as they were set up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Don't change them in the middle of the game. Yeah.
So what are the rules of life? Don't kill, don't cheat, don't lie,
Well, I'd say don't murder, but
don't murder too.
I mean, sometimes we got a military for a reason. We have police for a reason. Sometimes you
defense.
have to stop
for
somebody
defense,
from
Right.
killing and
for
doing evil
defense,
things.
not for aggressing, not for aggressing. Correct.
Yeah, but the government, as you say, especially the Fourth Amendment and invasion of privacies and stuff like that. As we get more technically advanced, the government knows more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're grabbing it all.
Yeah.
I mean, the information and all.
Yeah.
And
That's
not too long ago, and I think it stopped now. We had government agencies in our social media helping direct what to ban and what to block in social media.
Yeah.
Now, I think
Very much so.
that's been taken care of, but that's a
Wow.
scary thing, and it's
It
been.
is.
Thank
But
God
but
for
we've got-
Elon Musk.
But we've got people out there that are politicians and says, so, well, we still need to control it. We can't have these things posted without checking them first.
Yeah.
I mean, people that believe that.
Yeah.
They do, and politicians, people run for office, people that get votes. Believe that. I think it comes to education.
What was that?
again.
What was that movie with Tom Cruise? Minority. It was a
Minority Reports, correct?
where
You arrest you
where
before
if-
the crime.
arrest you before the crime. They would be invading people's brains, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're thinking you were going to be about murdering somebody or committing a crime of any sort, then you were arrested. If you were even thinking about it,
I guess they had some psychic.
he hadn't done it yet.
No. I think one that may be even
Wow.
closer is Enemy of the State.
Yes, that's
Oh, yeah.
another one.
Which
too.
showed, how overwhelming. You could be watching people with the technology that existed then. It's far beyond that today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We have satellites spying on us, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. And they can see from that far up.
Yeah.
A square mile or something.
Well, I'll tell you, a friend of mine was a spook. He's dead now, but he was talking about back in the 1990s that he was involved in a exercise where they're checking satellite ability to see things, and they had like camouflage netting. They were out in the desert and stuff like that. And he said at that time they could identify through the camouflage netting, which has a lot of holes in it, that there was a Marine on a cot with a Playboy magazine.
Wow.
Because the magazine was distinctive enough that they could identify that from the satellite in the 90s. We're much better today. The technology is much more refined today.
Yeah. So you're not hiding.
No, I mean, the idea that, and those people who think they can run off to the hills, that's the easiest place to find you. You put out a heat signature.
All this time, I thought I was invisible.
You're not.
Yeah, the only invisibility today is be part of the crowd. You blend into an urban area. There's so many people, it's hard. And the Chinese have a solution for that. It's facial recognition with all the cameras that are out there.
Well, we've got it. I don't know how much we're using it. But
I don't know. That's a good question.
I know they've used it at some sports games and stuff like that too. But
I don't think we're using it as anywhere near as much as the Chinese are. But we're probably looking at them and saying, "Yeah, at least people in our government are saying, maybe we should figure out how to do that."
Maybe. I don't know.
It's scary stuff.
It is scary stuff. Very scary, and it's debatable stuff. It's discussion. We need to have discussions about all this.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
I don't have an answer.
No,
I wish I did.
Yeah, you'd be a billionaire too, right?
Maybe.
Well, the answer.
I mean, I look at our first trillionaire, Elon Musk, and what he did to get there. He took enormous risks.
Yeah,
he dedicated his whole fortune on a coin toss almost on whether the first Falcon rocket would make it to orbit.
Sure.
It was like the fourth launch that finally made it, and he was out of money.
But he takes risks now by being public.
Yeah,
he does. But now he is he's been so successcul. It's amazing what he's accomplished.
Yeah.
And people don't want to give him credit for it. I'm thinking, why? Why don't you want to give him credit? He's and as far as I can tell, he's the genius of the age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's also very enormously supportive of freedom of speech and freedom of the press.
Yes, he is.
That's why he bought Twitter and turned it around from being a censorious sewer into a free speech network.
Well, think of all the people in history that have taken the risks so that we could have something like this.
Well, you're right. We probably wouldn't have it if the Nazis had been successful.
Yeah.
We probably wouldn't have had it. I mean, I like to think the Cold War is my war, because that's.
But at least you would have learned German.
Well, with my name, I might have been okay. It's serious stuff. I mean, they came pretty close without American aid to the Soviet Union. I think they'd have beat them. The Nazis would have beat the Soviets back.
I don't know. That'd be hard pressed. That kind of society can't last very long.
Well, they lasted by continually conquering more, and they just stole more and more wealth.
But it finally failed.
Well, it did.
It finally
failed. The
Soviet that kind of a system will always fail. It's got 100% failure.
I don't know. The Roman Empire lasted for a long time.
But it failed.
Right.
It failed
after thousands of years.
About 400.
Well, they were. I guess it all depends on where you start them, but I would start the Roman Empire somewhere.
Because the Republic lasted about 400, and then another 400.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. The Republic, and then the Empire another 400.
Yeah, about another 400 years.
And there was a Roman.
So where are we at? We're at 250.
Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it?
I hope to see. I hope we last another 250.
Well, I hope so too.
But there's always been people pushing back, wanting to change the Constitution.
Yeah.
Wanting to
Oh yeah.
change-
Well,
wanting
we've
to
had
change
how
who
many
we are.
amendments have gone through?
Well, I think we can last another 250 if we embrace the ideas of liberty. If we continue to embrace the ideas of socialism and dictator, having somebody rule over us, yeah, we're going to fail just like the Roman Empire failed.
Socialism seems to be the hottest topic right now. We've got
Yeah.
a lot of socialists
Yeah,
that
but
have been elected.
But we
recently.
also got a lot of history of individual liberty in this country, and that's fighting it back. Those ideas, that's why ideas have consequences. Ideas are important. That's why discussion about these ideas has to take place so that people can learn these ideas. Like Dean said earlier, you're not born with this stuff. You got to learn.
Yeah, it's true.
You got to learn it.
Discussion has been harder and harder, though, because we're more tribal now than ever. We're more cancel culture. We're more, I can't talk to you because you don't believe the same I believe. There doesn't seem to be a lot of sharing of ideas.
I think that's peaked out. I think we're on the other side of it.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I think so too. And plus, I don't know, the number of people that are on the negative side, that's all that gets reported anymore. Everything's negative.
I think
Well, I
there's-
got news for you. 98% of the population are like you and me. We go about our business. We're trying to raise our kids. We're trying to live a life, trying to make it through the world. That's not. There's 2% of the population. I'm fudging these figures because I don't really know what the
Sure, it's
number.
hard to know.
But it's not like 60% of us are going off the deep end here.
Yeah,
No,
I
so-
might put it as high as 20%.
But
Okay.
But the vast majority of us, I think, are with us, Howard.
Yeah.
But some of them,
But they don't care. That's not newsworthy.
right. Correct.
But man, Donnie got more than 60% of the vote. He's a
In
socialist.
New York,
Yeah, he's a socialist.
in his particular, those districts are a very small percentage
No,
of
it
America.
doesn't say it doesn't exist.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just
you
saying
have
that
this Parisian,
predominant.
Parisian minister telling the people in France, you don't deserve air conditioning. It's bad for you. And most of the people in France are saying, we want air conditioning.
But-
oh man, they need it too. Because
But-
we were over there one summer and it was hot and it was stifling.
And you didn't have air conditioning in the hotel?
we were in a B&B.
Okay,
there's nothing. And they don't have screens over there either.
Oh, my.
So now the bugs are all bugging you.
Oh, my. I thought they didn't have any mosquitoes in France.
Yeah, well, they do. I can attest to that. It's just, oh man, it was horrendous.
Oh, man. I mean, that's a huge thing about
But,
civilization.
but look at that. How simple a thing that we bellyache about because we don't have screen. How many people before us didn't have screen? And the whole world.
The vast majority of
And here we-
humans
but
never
that's-
did.
But that's how. But that's
I mean,
how we get
they
used to
went
stuff.
to extreme measures. They
Yeah.
put mud on their
I
skins.
know.
They put, the Australians, literally, when the Europeans came there, they complained. They said, all these people put fish guts on their head to keep the bugs away. I'm going, you put fish guts? And they said, this is one of the few places where sailors are not interested in the women
Yeah.
because all the fish guts on their head.
Oh, man.
Well, that's a new one.
Yeah, it was a surprise to me.
Oh.
But you can read it.
Yeah.
That's I'm trying to think of who was the explorer, Cook, maybe.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't know.
that was exploring the southeastern coast of Australia at the time.
Edward put some facts out there.
Oh, good.
He said the 1619 project, I think we're all familiar with that,
Yeah.
states there was no war in the New World until the white man arrived.
Man, they
That was a
never. I guess they never
well-researched-
read of the Aztecs or the Incas.
Yeah. Didn't they have wars?
They had huge wars. I mean,
Yeah.
the Aztecs enslaved everybody around
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
and part of their tribute was you had to give your son and daughter to them for human sacrifice, and they made you sit and watch it. And then some of them said, "You're not enthusiastic enough. Here, you got to eat part of them."
Oy. Yike.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason the small number of conquistadors were able to conquer all of the Aztec Empire. Well, because they had all these allies from the Indians who were fed up with the Aztecs being nasty.
Yeah. So I guess it's humankind that causes all the problems.
It is. We are flawed.
Well, we are flawed.
We are flawed as humans, and the limitations we put on ourselves, well, limitations on government, are how we get to be better.
Yeah, exactly. So
if we just gave in to every whim, 1 out of 6 get murdered.
We're back to that again.
Yeah.
What other data has Edward got? Anything else? He's always good for good facts.
I got current events, and you don't normally talk much about, but Supreme Court justice made a lot of things yesterday out there. I don't know if you know some of the rulings anyway, but the birthright citizenship.
Oh yeah.
Trump did not get his wishes on that, and I don't think there was an expectation that he would. I mean, there was many people.
3 justices agreed with him.
Yeah. But birthright citizenship, of course, that came what 14th Amendment, because of slavery, and to make sure that there was recognition and all that. And then we got this whole ball of just anybody that comes in here vacation and has a child born. Congratulations, you're an American citizen. Here's your passport. But I know they're not done with it.
No.
Apparently, they're already working on
legislation, I think.
Yeah, because I think the legislation would be a stronger.
Right. This was just an executive order by Trump, and it's sort of understandable how the court ruled.
Well, they want a different approach.
Arguments.
Let me take a phone call. I got Washington Bureau Chief George Braun. Good morning, sir.
Dissent by Clarence Thomas on this. Basically saying that the 14th Amendment has been politicized and turned into a political tool. It was originally 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments were all for putting the country back together after
Civil War.
The Civil War.
Yeah.
And the 14th Amendment was meant for slaves that weren't born here to be, their families to be able to be citizens.
Yeah.
Right. And this has also included the free slaves that had been with the Cherokee and a number of other ones that had joined those. The thing is that it was never meant for birthright citizenship and everything else. I did love somebody put out a big thing on, well, this just makes it to where visas will have a big sign that says no girls allowed.
Yeah, well,
Texas just put down a thing that says it's a felony for birthright citizenship.
Texas,
if you're coming in you're coming in on a birthright, the people that are coming in and just having babies and then leaving, the tourists,
that's been a thing. That's happened a lot.
Texas made that a state law. I didn't.
Yeah, the Marshall Islands has been used by China for decades to do this. And, and the idea that you have over 300,000 Chinese that can come in and vote in our country if they just move, instead of, that's one of the things that Congress hasn't done that they need to do, which is you got to give up. You can't have dual citizenship. And
it didn't used to be a thing. When did it become common? About 30 years ago?
And you also got to remember Mexico was a very big one on this.
Yeah.
They actually advertised in our elections, and until we started playing the same game and started, putting it down on theirs also. Hey, the Specialty Food Association wanted to thank you for the great interview yesterday.
Okay.
Made me hungry.
I sent home, 5 bags, and so there's 2 boxes coming. They're huge, full of everything.
Yeah, really high grade stuff too.
Oh, and then I got home and I got something really fun.
What's that?
I joined a new firm and going through the thing, so I have a ticket. I have one of the golden tickets. I get to go to the president's party.
Oh, Oh, cool.
for the 4th of July.
Through the new firm? Did they not do a
Yeah,
background check?
they put my name. They put my name
they
on,
didn't
and
vet
I got off the train yesterday, and
Wow.
it was on my phone. So I'm going to go pick up the ticket this morning.
Sure, it's not. Don't say too much. It might be a computer glitch.
Well, they have to actually, this is one of those fun things where, you have gone through security so many times. The other day, we had a lieutenant general that's a 3-star who had run Fort Huachuca, and he wanted a tour of the CIA. So I called the CIA and asked him, and so I got the person on the phone, and I said, okay, well, here's the deal. My social security number is this, my passport number is this. Here's my address, my mother's maiden name, pretty much. And so I get a phone call about half an hour from the guy, and he says, usually lawyers don't give us this much information. I said, well, I know there's a file somewhere with my name on it, so I might as well make it easy for you to find it. Kind of like that thing from Ainsley Hayes in the West Wing, where Leo McGarry looks at her and goes, Ainsley, I've got all your stuff on your FBI file anyway. And she goes, you have my FBI file? I have an FBI file?
Wow.
Nice to know.
We probably all have an FBI.
A whole
file.
lot of people have FBI files.
I'm sure I probably.
Well, it is kind of interesting. My cousin's wife, when we went to the inaugural in 2017, was sitting there, and because I was running the host thing for the outside inaugural that year, and so I had to be there at 4:30 in the morning, and the Secret Service guy came over for me to sign the paperwork, and he asked Annie how her father was doing, because he'd just gotten out of the hospital. And he's doing much better now, and he's in rehab, doing his physical therapy and stuff. And then he walks away, and she goes, how would he know that my father just got out of the hospital? And my cousin Greg looked up and goes, you're going to be within arm's length of the president. I have a feeling that they did a run on you to see what
Probably did, George.
Anyway, everybody have a happy and healthy 4th, and safe and sane, or what, all those things. And I will, and I'm not touching any fireworks that aren't legal in the District of Columbia, and I will stay to that story, so.
Well, you're on record then. Okay.
And I did not give any 12-year-old boys fireworks either. So if anybody asks, no, I did not.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Everybody have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think he's hiding something.
I think so too.
Right.
I gotta go.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you. Good to see you again, Dean.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Russ.
Come on anytime, sir.
For allowing me on here. Appreciate it. Good to see you guys. See you Saturday.
Happy
Take care.
4th. We'll do
Happy
that.
4th.
Well, he just left me with you then, Dean.
Oh, well, what a punishment.
Since we mentioned Clarence Thomas, talking about women in boys
in that Supreme Court
he
decision.
really got a lot of accolades for his write-up.
I read it this morning, and it's brilliant, and it's short.
Yeah, well, and I got part of it here in this article. I don't think this is the whole thing, but he says men and boys with gender dysphoria are not women or girls, even if they believe that they are. Sex isn't an immutable biological characteristic. It is binary, and man and woman, boy and girl are the terms that correspond to the adults and children of each sex. To use language to obscure reality, to show indifference regarding the truth, is to lie to the public and cease to treat our fellow citizens as equals.
I think that's like 80% of it. He had a short
really
statement, yes, and that's what he said, and it's just a statement of truth. And essentially, what he said was, if you're biologically male and believe you are a woman, that's a psychological disorder.
But I think he did it in such a way that he's not picking on somebody directly.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
he's talking about the issue itself, and not the people that support it or don't support it.
It's a mental problem. It's not that you were born in the wrong body. It's that you have beliefs that are not in line with reality.
And I like to use language to obscure reality.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what's been going on in our country, and a lot, not just this issue, but on many issues.
On many things, correct.
Yeah, that we show, it shows indifference regarding the truth. Is to lie to the public and cease to treat our fellow citizens as equal. And we've done a lot, but the amount of accolades he got from this, so many people writing, let me see, Beth Van Dyne, a Texas congresswoman, truth, fact, and common sense from Justice Thomas, in ruling that men and boys with gender dysphoria are not women or girls. Amen, sir. But for people to take the time to really put that forward, I guess, got really noticed. And who was it that called it a truth bomb? Elizabeth Weeble. She's a Bart Bright news reporter.
Well, I mean,
a truth bomb.
It's
I think
not
that got a lot of headlines.
hard. If somebody says, "I am an elephant," everybody understands that they have a mental problem.
But we've been afraid to talk about it because you get attacked. You're
Correct.
all of a sudden a hate monger or an election denier or something. If you have a truth to tell or a question to be had.
Or on something less obvious, like maybe like I'm Napoleon, they have a mental problem.
Yeah, they should be. We talked about dual citizenship a little bit, and I was just curious, like how many current elected officials and stuff are dual citizenship?
Oh, elected officials, that's not easy.
No, it's not. And
I'd guess about 20%.
I didn't get a direct answer on all this, but I got a list of some. The first elected dual citizen was Ted Cruz.
Oh, interesting.
Ted Cruz was the first elected. When he was first elected, so not elected. So he was U.S. and Canada, and then he renounced Canada.
Okay.
Former Representative Michelle Bachmann was U.S. and Swiss dual citizenship.
Interesting.
And then she renounced Swiss in order, I guess, to take. I mean,
well,
I think that makes sense to take the oath.
To make her allegiance clear, I suspect. And if you're a representative, that makes sense to me.
And there's 19 foreign-born people in the House of Representatives right now.
Yeah.
Which is completely legitimate in our country.
Well, when we started out, a fair number of the people in the House were foreign-born. Alexander Hamilton was born in the Caribbean. Yeah. He was not born in the United States.
But there's a lot of it. It seems to be more of it now, though. And maybe it's just more visible.
I think it's more visible.
And more anti-American foreign-born that are elected.
Right. I think people who came here previously knew that their allegiance would be to the country they were coming to.
Roughly 80 voting members, or 15% of Congress, are immigrants or the children of immigrants.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean that they
have dual citizenship
necessarily,
but they might.
But they don't really collect that information.
Right. Yeah, I could understand that.
That's not on the application, is to state whether you're a dual citizen.
Well, maybe you will be able to find out when dual citizenship became legally acceptable in the United States, because it wasn't always.
See, Winston Churchill is, George just sent me this Winston Churchill quote, that democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others that have been tried from time to time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. I mean, and he also talked about the U.S., I'm going to probably butcher the quote, but he said something like, the United States will always come up with the right answer after trying everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
After you've ruled out all the bad answers, you'll come up with the right one.
So, some Iranian clerics just got together in Iran.
Okay, and they weren't bombed?
No, they weren't bombed. 88. There's an 88-member body called the Assembly of Experts, and it's clerics constitutionally tasked with choosing and supervising the supreme leader. I guess I don't know a lot about the way they work.
Yeah, okay. I've heard of that.
I didn't know that. I mean, I know that the supreme leader is the last word.
So what are they doing? Are they choosing a new supreme leader? Are they endorsing?
They got together so they could describe Trump and Netanyahu as deserving of death. And they wrote a 10-point statement from the Assembly of Experts, said the killing of the criminal American president and the wicked prime minister of the Zionist regime was a religious duty, assassinating the two leaders, whom they described as deserving of death, must not be neglected under any circumstance.
You see, I don't have too much of a problem. If they're going to come out and say that, then we are legitimate. They are legitimate targets, in my opinion.
I would question on whether they've been saying it all along. They just now done public.
I mean, this is a country where the leadership has promoted the chant "Death to America" for 47 years.
But what's interesting in the article, and I question, like, well, if you say that out loud, do we have your address?
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean,
and if we have your address, you're in trouble.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I think that's perfectly legitimate.
Well, this is all coming out with the memorandum of understanding and all that kind of stuff. And we've been talking a little bit about this, as everybody has been, about the disconnect within Iran. Like, they say one thing one day, something else, something
right.
Day, and who's running it, who's leading it.
Right.
And apparently this 88-member body doesn't really lead, but they pick the leader.
Well,
which gives some power.
Right. And we, it's one thing for 88 people to get together and make a statement. It's another thing for a central government to have control over a country of 90 million people.
You would think if they make the statement that it has weight.
But it's easy to make statements with the internet. You just put it out there.
But yeah, you and I can make a statement. It doesn't have weight, but this body does have weight.
They have more weight, sure.
Yeah, it's gonna mean something. But here's what's also interesting about this is that they made this letter of call to action and all this in this 10-point statement.
Sounds like, is it a formal fatwa, they call it?
No, they fell short.
Oh.
They fell short of that. And only 63 of the 88 signed it.
Oh.
Which apparently is unusual, and it showed a real disconnect.
Yeah.
And the Assembly's Secretariat distanced itself hours later.
Sounds like, of about 25 of them, and the Secretariat have a strong survival instinct.
And I guess it really highlights the fact that there's really not a unified direction.
Well, exactly. And this is what I've been saying for a couple months now, is that there is no unified government in Iran that can really make a deal. And so that's just the way it is.
But I'm surprised it came public. This assembly.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I would have thought they said unanimous.
Well, I would have thought they wouldn't tell you first.
Well, whatever, that's correct. That makes
or lie about it, like you say, unanimous, like Fauci did with his experts. And everybody believes it.
Right.
Yeah.
I am science.
The clerics also pressed the government to keep the negotiations on a tight leash, warning that Washington was buying time to rearm. I don't think we need to buy time to rearm. I think that's them.
I think you're right. I think that's projection. But on the other hand, I think we are probably doing a pretty good job of collating target lists.
Well, it's surprising because it's pretty well known the Iranians are trying to drag it out. That's kind of like their modus operandi. That's what they do.
So, and I think.
So why would they say tight leash?
Well, I think they don't want somebody in the Iranian government to make a deal. That's what I think that means.
Maybe. The likelihood of a renewed attack after will be very high. The matters raised in the memorandum of understanding must be resolved within the stipulated 30 to 60-day deadlines. And they wrote that. That's the clerics. They called the Islamic Reporter supporters to continue mobilization on the streets in the leader's name. The people's persistence is necessary and decisive for as long as Khamenei deems as expedient. And the signatories also condemned the reopening of the Hormuz Strait, called it a strategic error.
Yeah.
Well,
that kind of shows there's a split.
Oh, man. And
At least one, probably multiple.
well, it was the people that signed, and that's most of them, because 63 out of 88 signed it, and they said
Yeah.
we shouldn't have opened the straits. Like they think they're still in control.
Well, I guess they do, or they want to say it. But the other thing, we have some news. I was reading it this morning of several leaders of the Iranian Republican Guard group, which is their hardline enforcers, were assassinated in Iran. There are at least 4 of them, 5 maybe more, and that indicates to me that there's some resistance building in Iran. Now, in these particular ones appear to have been in areas where there are a higher percentage of Kurds. So it may be, and the Kurds have had a resistance for a long time. So whether this is strictly Kurdish resistance or part of a larger phenomena, when you have a few people, high-level leaders, assassinated on the same day, it shows a level of coordination that indicates there may be more there.
The Trump apparently, I think I got a story here. Oh, he had a lot of conversations, which he does, meeting with advisors and all that. Conversations, he returning to all-out war with Iran. And so Trump held multiple conversations in recent days with War Secretary Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff General Dan Kane about conducting more strikes. The president decided to stick with the diplomatic talks for now.
Sure.
And the focus of the conversations was Washington should abandon negotiations, resume full-time attacks, and which just finished the job. And there's a lot of frustration with, people that I know that call in and stuff and talk at enough already. Just do it.
Well, yeah, I every time I have an inclination to doubt the ability of Trump to negotiate and strategize, I found out I was wrong and he was right. So I believe President Trump is doing the right thing. And I think he's making very, very good decisions, and I think it will turn out well.
I hope so. But it's the Iranians are very aware of our election system. They're very aware of the midterms,
and they're trying to manipulate us.
And they really are rooting for Democrats.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They want Democrats because Democrats give them what they want.
They probably see the Democratic Party of the United States as essentially an ally.
Well, they do, and the Democrats have been screaming that the Obama approach is best, give them what they want. And
that's what they say.
And that Trump should have never gone in there. There's a lot of Democrats screaming that. So of course, Iranians are aligning themselves with the Democrats that, you're speaking our language.
Right. Hate Trump.
Yes, exactly right. And then assassinate him at that. And apparently there was they uncovered an Iranian assassination attempt after Butler.
Right.
They found that. On a different subject, Kansas college student drowned after he went to a regular, I guess, a very popular swimming hole in Wichita, in Kansas, somewhere outside Wichita State University. There's a swimming hole that they it says popular Oregon swimming hole. Okay. That in Wichita, Kansas. Why does it say Oregon? Is it?
I don't know. Was this Wichita, Kansas lad in Oregon?
Well, no. I guess he goes to Wichita, but he's in it was an Oregon swimming hole. Well, this guy named Kenny Trong, he's of Wichita, Kansas, visiting Oregon, I guess.
Okay.
And they go to a place called the Blue Pool, and he jumped in and then couldn't get out. 911 and all that. They got there, they could not revive him and all that, which is terrible.
So on a river, maybe?
No, I guess it's just a swimming hole.
Well, but that could be on a river. It could be part of a lake.
I got the impression
many different possibilities.
It's not, but this water in that area, and it's very popular. A lot of people go there. Is 37 degrees, maintains 37 degrees average.
That's cold.
Well, that's
only 5 degrees above freezing.
Apparently,
you will lose the ability to swim in just a few minutes in that temperature water.
He had no idea. Many people jump into this thing. Witnesses describe him as struggling as he swam towards shore.
Right.
Which means he was losing his ability to stay conscious, probably.
Right. And I'll tell you, I've been in water that cold. Your appendages go numb very quickly, just a few seconds.
Yeah. One of the sheriffs, Micah Smith, said despite the best efforts of those who tried to help him and the first responders who respond to the 911 call, he did not survive. Our thoughts are with the family and the friends of Kenny of Kansas during what is an unimaginable time.
Ugh.
He was a fiance, good business student, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of locals do it. I guess they know the deal. I don't know.
There might be local knowledge. If you're going to jump from here, aim for that spot, get out as quick as you can, something like that. I mean, it sounds like a very dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, but you watch the guy struggle. Did you have another beer? Did someone jump in?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't give us those details.
I never heard of that before.
Man, that's just really cold water.
Yeah,
and
that's what the water averages. So I wonder why. It's not on a river then. It's probably on.
Well, is it on the coast?
Isolated.
It wouldn't be on the coastline.
No.
The ocean there would have a warmer temperature than that.
Yeah.
So I suspect it's a river. But that's very cold.
I never heard of that.
It might be in the mountains too.
He might not have known it was that. I don't know. He had to know.
No, he didn't have to know. There's a lot of ignorance. More ignorance. Ignorance is in infinite supply.
I mean, somebody had to say, "Hey, there's this wonderful spot. Let's go there."
Yeah, it could have been hold my beer.
Yeah,
it could have been I dare you. I mean, there's young people don't have the life experience and they make mistakes.
Yeah, it's because we're going to live forever.
Nothing some people think that way. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and younger you are, the more you know.
I remember how much smarter my parents got as I got older.
I was much smarter younger, I think.
Part of wisdom is understanding how little you know.
The State Department is talking openly now about Venezuela government as total compliance.
Wow, that's good news.
Well, total compliance that they're receiving relief efforts.
For the earthquake. Yeah, horrible earthquake and killed a lot of people.
Well, so far they've counted 2,000 that have lost life. And who knows where it's going.
And it could be a lot more. They're still trying to dig people out of the rubble. It's horrible.
A lot of collapsed buildings. Magnitude 7.2 and a 7.5 back to back. They struck northern part of South America. According to a department official, we have seen total compliance from the interim authorities in Venezuela as a result of the unprecedented response of the United States to these deadly earthquakes. And we have put up, I think, $150 million to help out.
Now, I saw a story. I haven't tried several different sources. It claimed that the buildings that collapsed were put up during the socialist regime there and that they were shoddily constructed, which was part of the reason they collapsed.
Oh, probably. They didn't beat building codes.
Well, they probably had their political buddies were the contractors or whatever, and they cut corners.
Edward is agreeing that common sense exists. It's just not very common.
I think I said that this morning to my brother.
Not very common. But the death tolls of 2,000 it's going to take a while to sort that out.
Yeah, it's going to get higher.
And it's just kind of, not too long ago, we couldn't have gone in to help them at all.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
We couldn't have done any of that, let alone be welcome.
Right.
With any of that. And keep in mind, it's been 6 months. It was January 3rd when Maduro was taken out.
Right. It's amazing.
Taken out of there.
I have to give President Trump amazing kudos and credit for accomplishing that, because it's just an incredible thing. You have a helicopter assault into a foreign capital that is expecting an assault, that has vast resources to defend itself.
Right.
And it's successful without loss of a single American life.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hello, I'm looking for Russ.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from Dr. Dima's office.
I have an appointment tomorrow, and I'll be there.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you then.
Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's also my personal phone.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's interesting because it tells everybody, wow, that's his personal phone.
It is.
We can call him anytime.
Middle of the night. I don't care because it's off. I don't care. No, it's on. It is. It's very much available. Yeah, and I guess.
Yeah, this has been the turning of the Venezuela regime is not as appreciated as it should be.
But I think they're not the regime we want that's running it right now.
Well, they're not perfect, but they're way better than what we had.
Well, right now you've got Delcy Rodriguez. She's the one that the Supreme Court.
She's a hardcore communist, basically.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court installed her because she was vice president.
Right.
But now they're calling her the interim president. At least this article is.
Right. They're going to have an election, I think.
But not right away. Obviously, it's been 6 months.
Yeah.
And Washington made it clear that such cooperation is temporary and emphasized that the U.S. does not view her presidency as a permanent solution.
So a correct way to look at it.
But she seems to have been...
Well, she's doing the right stuff.
So, yeah, but I'm sure that's because there's a gun to her head.
Well, sure. I mean, but
or a kidnap opportunity to her head, whatever that is.
Or we'll arrest you. Right. But and this is the closest to what I would call modern gunboat diplomacy.
Yeah.
And just because force may not be the preferred method, it still works.
I want to talk about privacy here for a minute, because Edward has sent me a note, says, I know you have an appointment now, and I'll be watching to ensure that you go.
Not only that, they have a doctor's name.
To make sure that you go. And I have no idea what his capabilities are, but
it's hard to know.
Yeah, but he seems to know a lot about where I go and what I do. I don't know.
Well, he likes you.
So enough to track me.
It's sort of like having a big brother,
Well, he's the one that when I did get sick, I had some kind of scare where blood pressure went crazy. It was crazy, and I lost memory for a minute. I was going to blow it off a little bit, take a nap, and
he said, "Get you to the emergency room,
or else."
Yeah,
okay. and I'd like, and you think, well, gosh, he's in Virginia. What could he do? He could have me on a mental health hold for 72 hours. And
yeah, I think so.
He has that capability. I don't even question. I'm like, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
But he does it because he cared, and it was right. It really did. It did straighten a lot of things out as far as make a realization that I'm not invincible. That I better get this taken care of, and I've been in the gym pretty much ever since.
So, are we going to talk about the New York real estate tycoon getting rid of some of their holdings?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, there's a billionaire. He's worth supposedly about 26 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
And they had part of their investments were New York residential real estate, and with Mondami freezing rents in New York City, he made the decision, we're pulling out. And they sold their holdings at 6 cents on the dollar.
Wow.
Yeah. It was several million, many millions of dollars. I think it was hundreds of millions of dollars. But he has 26 billion, so hundreds of millions is just a fraction.
He's cutting his losses, probably.
But exactly right.
Yeah.
And
is he the one that had the project under construction and all that kind of stuff?
I don't think they mentioned that, no. But they talked about how in the article they talked about the costs to maintain buildings in New York had gone up during the time that he owned the properties, or his investment firm owned the properties.
It's going to be the Sergey Brin.
I think so, yes. And that the cost of maintenance had gone up 78%. But they did not allow them to increase the cost of rent any. Well, when it costs you more to maintain a property than you can gain in rent, it's a losing proposition. And that's why he sold it at 6 cents on the dollar.
I wonder if Edward bought any of that. I don't know.
But how do you make a profit?
You don't.
You have to figure, if you'd buy that property, you'd be buying it on the bet that there'd be a regime change that would change the rules so that you could make a profit.
Or eventually a regime change.
Right, at some point.
Happen anytime soon.
6 cents on the dollar. And what it was is they're losing money. They were talking about how many millions of dollars in arrears their rent was, and they couldn't get rid of the people. They couldn't evict them.
Yeah, the gross value of his stake in the property was roughly 79 million. So he sold it for 6 cents on the dollar.
And he probably felt,
and I don't get that.
And he was probably quite appreciative to be able to get that. Somebody else was willing to take the burden of those properties. They were essentially a loss. They had negative value. Somebody was willing to take them for 6 cents on the dollar.
Wow.
But under New York law, whoever takes them, you can't raise rents, and you better maintain those buildings, or we will, take them from you. The city will take them. Claim ownership.
I wonder what's going to happen in New York right now. And there's adjustments going on, and
bad things will happen.
Well, and we have that. We've seen that. We've seen bad things happen to a lot of major cities like Detroit.
Yes, exactly. And it appears to me New York is trying to follow Detroit. And it's a bad example. Now, frankly, in the last few years, last 10 years or so, Detroit is starting to make a bit of a rebound. But it went through absolutely horrific times. They lost like 3/4 of their population.
Yeah. Oh, and at one time Detroit was,
it was
giving away houses basically.
Oh, yeah.
If you pay off the taxes due.
Right.
It's yours.
But of course, then you still have to pay taxes.
Oh, and it's probably been a drug hub for
very
whatever,
possibly. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, you look at it and you say, wow, what happened? I mean, there were video tours of Detroit showing vast areas where there weren't houses anymore. They'd been torn down or burned. Enormous industrial centers trees were growing up in the middle of them, in the middle of what had been the building, schools and libraries, all just going to rot and ruin.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going, what? Well, when you have a government that won't allow you to be able to survive under the rules, you leave.
Edward said the New York Benefits Fund bought those properties. The expected long-term loss for that fund is close to $3 billion over 10 years.
Well, so getting out at 6 cents on the dollar sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, is it a good deal for New York Benefits?
No, but it's, for the guy who sold them,
maybe.
I mean, you get a little bit, you get 6% of what you put in, but you're not subject to liability.
Well, hopefully
$3 billion.
Hopefully, New York City doesn't have to come down to what Detroit had, but in order to start coming back. I mean, it is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's who was it that told me that I was reading? I think it was Victor Davis Hanson said that in New York, something like 40% of the residents were not born in the U.S.
Yeah, it's a very, very high.
It's a pretty high percentage.
Which is okay.
Well, if
they're not homeless, I guess.
If they're productive members of society.
Right. If they're productive members of society, it'd be fine. But New York has always been, I mean, every nationality.
Oh, it's been a city of many different, of diverse immigrants. It has been for a very long time.
Mhm.
Ellis Island's where people came in.
Right.
I think at least that island may be split. Part of it may be in New Jersey. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But it was the gateway for hundreds, millions of immigrants. I'm not sure how many million, quite a few. But unless you actually produce something, you have to produce things to live. Somebody has to provide you with food. You have to have a place to stay. In the United States, we expect you to have power and running water. I mean, all those things cost. And if you are not producing enough to purchase those things for yourself, then somebody else has to provide it.
The New York Benefit Fund that Edward just brought up, he said the fund is the money that belongs to New York City workers,
Oh,
and it's their retirement funds.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if cities that have retirements, and there's
Well,
everybody, people have a plan, and a lot of those plans, it's not like 401ks. It's a plan where we're going to pay you this percentage, we're going to pay
right,
you, and all that stuff. So it's a defined benefit plan,
right,
and then we're going to pay for
and they
this,
can
pay for
get
that.
into real trouble.
You can, because what can happen is, and see, a 401k, you can get in trouble too if you invest it improperly.
Oh, sure.
But you control it generally. You in which investment direction you go, whatever.
Right.
But on a defined benefit plan, those things can go bankrupt. And now,
I think that happened in Detroit.
yes, it did. And then the government, I think, comes in and buys it, and you still get some money, but you're going to get far less,
Reduced.
reduced,
A reduced amount.
a reduced
Right.
amount, and they'll bail out some of it.
Right.
So don't think, if you're a city worker, policeman, a fireman that put in 40 years, and you got this great retirement package, can the city blow it?
Yep. They can.
They can.
And frankly, if that's what you see it in Chicago.
Yeah.
It looks like it's happening in New York. It's probably happening, but I don't have the numbers, in Los Angeles. It certainly did happen in Detroit.
Yeah.
All of that is not good for the people who would be depending on that. And it's hard not to sympathize with them. They said, "No, well, look, I had a contract and it said I get this."
Right. But you voted in the guys that blew it.
Right.
You voted them in, the socialist. We have to give it to everybody but you.
You could even have people.
You're rich.
I wouldn't be hard for me to believe there's a fireman in Los Angeles who said, "Well, I never voted for those guys."
Yeah, right.
It's possible.
Yeah, they did. A lot of the unions all voted Democrats in,
but just because
they give you more.
Yes, exactly. Just because you vote for something doesn't mean it'll happen.
No. Well,
and people vote for and this is one of the big problems with an absolute democracy is that you can vote for things that are impossible.
Yeah. And we have a habit of bailing everybody out.
We have, and
but there's limits.
I think so. I am against bailing out cities and states in general because it encourages more people to do the same.
I agree. And right now, California, I know got bailed out a lot by Biden and stuff. And
right
now it's the opposite happening because the government, the federal government's been shutting off some programs going to California
which is what they should do.
Well, yeah, because they won't share information. It's
right.
The states have responsibilities on these programs for oversight.
Almost everybody. When I was growing up, and I think it's common knowledge that if you get money from the federal government, there are strings attached.
Always.
So you have to do what those strings say in order to get the money. So if you don't do them, then they stop the money.
And right now, because we're discovering fraud, the federal government's saying, "Okay, show me your records where you complied."
Right, exactly.
And they're saying, "Not your business."
And the federal, okay, well, no more money for you.
Yeah, goodbye.
Which is perfectly legitimate.
Well, that same thing's happened in Minneapolis.
Oh yeah,
Minnesota and stuff, which is
there's another city that's likely on the edge of
it was kind of ground zero.
Minneapolis,
yeah, kind of ground zero where we first heard of the Leering Center.
In this administration, I agree.
Well,
even if you look back in the with the whole George Floyd hysteria,
which you got to blame that government a little bit for letting it get out of control. They
absolutely.
Just let them riot.
Well, and then they lied about reality.
Right.
They lied about what happened.
And the whole country suffered.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now, I don't know if you heard the other day that Mayor Fry, is it?
Fry or Frey?
Frey. Did a rally just the other day, just really embracing our Somali community on how much you've given this, and we're going to fight for you.
Yeah,
and all that stuff. Because they're in the middle of investigating all this fraud, and they're going out. The Somalis are on the list because they represent a huge percentage. A small percentage of the city, a huge percentage of the fraud from what they found.
Oh yeah,
found out
exactly.
so
Correct.
far. I don't remember the numbers, but I saw one the other day that they have arrested, 80 or 60 or something. They said, but Somali's only represented 95% of them.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But
why are you picking on me?
But Fry's going after him, big, just to throw him accolades, and you're so wonderful, you're so this, and a huge percentage of them are on welfare,
Oh yeah.
and they're just trying to find out if that's kind of fraud. But they come from a community and a society, a culture where fraud's kind of like the
Oh yeah.
like regular business.
It's in a lot of shall we say third world countries. Somalia is clearly in that category. Corruption in the government is expected. And if you can get your guy in there, then you want a percentage of the take.
Yeah. Well, apparently Fry's trying to protect him or something, I guess, and that gets him reelected, I guess.
I guess.
I don't know, but what he might be termed out. I'm not sure.
We will, yes, very possible.
America's favorite beers is the headline. So of course I want to read that.
Favorite
beers.
Like okay. I was half a moment. I thought it was beard.
America's favorite beers and the jobs tied to them are at center of a brewing trade fight. As Trump administration has been using tariffs in order to balance a lot of trade practices,
right,
and unfair advantages and all that. Well, they're looking at Mexican beers because I was curious, like which one?
Yeah,
which beer are we going after?
Well, they're popular here.
Very well, they're popular in the whole United States.
I think so.
Mexican beer, it's about 52% more than a mass market in price. Mass market domestic lagers. I didn't know it was more money.
Huh. Now are they talking per beer?
I don't know, but they're looking to put some tariffs on it because to strengthen the American industry and all that. There are probably some products for which tariffs are appropriate, according to Steve Moore. He said products, and he's the Unleash Prosperity co-founder. It's and an economist. Well, this is from David Orzgo. He's an economist. He said product where there might be national security implications, but obviously beer's not it's not a national security thing. I don't think it is. It's not one of those products.
I would not put it right up there in national security level.
Now, he, as an economist, he says some things that I question, Gene.
Okay.
He says Mexican beer is brewed south of the border. Most of the jobs it supports, like distribution, wholesaling, retailing, are in the United States. U.S. beer business supports roughly 1.74 million jobs, meaning the U.S. beer business. But only about 5% are directly involved in brewing.
Okay, well,
so it's kind of saying like, what difference does it make what country? Because only 5% involved brewing.
Yeah.
Most workers are employed by wholesalers, retailers, restaurants, and suppliers that just handle the beer after it's brewed. Okay. So the jobs are remaining in the U.S. even when the beer is imported. Now, I think that is a BS argument. It is, because you could say that about every single industry. Like, what difference does it make where the cars are built? That only represents a small fraction. The rest of it is in the dealerships and repairs and all the transportation and wholesaling.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
So he said, if you end up slapping tariffs on Mexican beer, you're not protecting American workers. What you're really doing is cutting into the most profitable segment of the beer market right now, and in turn putting U.S. jobs at risk. And I think that's BS, because if I go to a restaurant and order a beer, that bartender's going to give me a beer no matter if it's domestic or not. You don't lose that job. And I don't stop drinking beer.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if the same amount of beer is consumed, you have to have the same amount of transportation.
Right. Same kind of workers, the same kind of warehousing, same amount of everything, no matter where the beers come from.
Right. Now,
So
you could make the argument that because beer might become somewhat more expensive, the total amount of beer consumed might go down a bit.
It probably won't make much difference.
I suspect it would not make much difference.
Yeah, a lot.
I think there's a fairly inelastic demand for beer.
Well, he says Mexican beer already sells for about 50% more than mass market domestic lagers in grocery stores and liquor stores. The authors say that the higher prices mean bigger profits for U.S. So if they raise the prices, we make more money. Retailers, restaurants, and bars. That's just crazy.
Well, there's still competition, but that's interesting. What I hear him saying is Mexican beer's already more expensive. So
I think
it won't
he's
make much difference.
I think this guy's not an economist. He's a lobbyist for Mexican beer.
Maybe. Yeah, he could be just a simple free market.
Well, of course, it's more money because you're going to make more, or it's crazy. Helping support more American jobs and cheaper domestic laws. He says these higher prices create more value across the U.S. economy, so it's more value, and that's like these lawmakers, these Democrat lawmakers that raise taxes and say we're going to collect more taxes if it's this amount. Well, there's another side to it that people just leave.
Well, there is that, or when you take money from somebody's pocket, they're not spending it on something else.
Correct. Yeah. Now they say every gallon of Mexican beer generates about $26.27 economic value.
That's a hard number to be sure.
Well, how could you even know that? What slide rule do they have? I mean, because they're counting on it has to go to the bar, and the bartender has to sell it, and the transportation guy had to bring it, the warehouse guy had to move it, so it generated $26.
Yeah. I've always been a little skeptical. It's hard to, those things are not that easy to figure out.
He said about $19.42 of that, which you start going to insignificant numbers when you say 42 cents because it's a rough thing anyway. Roughly 74% goes into U.S. businesses and workers. But it doesn't matter if it's Mexican beer or anything. Those businesses operate independent on whether it's Mexican or domestic.
I think you're correct.
So
I think those they would operate with some kind of beer. If the Mexican beer supply disappeared tomorrow, it would be that gap would be filled up by domestic manufacturers.
Correct. And when Budweiser got boycotted and Bud Light sales went down probably 80% for a while,
and other manufacturers picked up.
Nobody closed a bar.
Right.
People still drank something. Let's take a phone call. Good morning, Gilbert.
Hey, what's going on, Russ? I've been busy all morning, so I haven't been able to listen to your show.
Well, good for you because you're getting that stuff done that needs to.
Before 10 o'clock.
There you go.
So I'm laughing. My humor for today in your show and your conversation right now.
Yeah.
I see so many people buying that expensive Corona beer and the Tecate beer, and they put a lime in it. I go, so why do you put a lime in that? To make it taste better.
Yeah, exactly.
You're paying $3. You're paying $3 for a beer.
Yeah.
You put a lime in it to make it taste better.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
That's a great point.
You've got a point there. I have to admit that's an interesting take.
American beer tastes better without the lime. Yeah.
Well, I'm a Crown Royal, Black Velvet, Canadian Club type of guy. Always have been. Were. I haven't drank since 1999.
Well, that's a while. So, that's 27 years. You've been doing great.
Yeah, you are.
It's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I go Russ, you see me do karaoke without drinking.
Sure.
And I can't blame it because, my problem is I can't blame it because I was drunk.
Right. You're actually, the karaoke is probably better when you don't drink. Yeah.
That's, it's what everybody feels and whatever you feel about what you're doing. But yeah, I see all these people buy this $3.50 a bottle of beer, and they put lime in it to make it taste better. Now that's funny.
I think when you order a Corona, don't bartenders normally just put it in there? They don't ask. It comes with it.
Well, yeah, because everybody that buys Corona always asks for a lime.
Well, Gilbert, let me ask you a question. So that's $3.50 a beer. You haven't been drinking for 27 years. So by my rough calculation, you've saved about $50,000.
Yeah.
So, where did that $50,000 go? To a bike and your home?
That Harley. It went into the Harley.
Yeah, I mean, so you got a lot of benefit from not spending all that money on booze.
Yeah, but I did it because I wanted to do it. I didn't go to AA. I didn't go to NA.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you
last
were
time I
able to
spoke-
exercise that level of self-control. That's impressive.
It is.
Oh, the Lord Jesus Christ.
There you go.
I owe to him, and I haven't smoked pot or cigarettes since 1985.
Well, good. That
but
comes out to
that's
a
me.
lot of money. I mean, my brother and I figured it out,
A
and
lot
we
of brain
said
cells too.
we said that by not going to bars and drinking and not smoking, we saved up enough money to buy our first houses.
There you go.
That could be. See, my other weakness is going out to eat.
Well, okay, but at least it's not quite as horrible for your health.
Come on, Dean.
We
It's what
have
I
to eat. Eating is necessary.
Yeah, it's the cost.
Yeah.
But the other day I saw something on Facebook about they were complaining about what they had to pay, and you expect me to tip? No, we don't expect you to tip. We want you to tip, and if you can't tip, you can't tip. Now, I'm not saying, hey, if you can't tip, don't go out and eat. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it is part of the action.
It's part of the culture, and you get better service.
It is cultural.
And I had to teach myself, to tip. But I tip if I get good service. If I get lousy service, I don't tip.
You tip up front, and then you get better service the rest of the night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah.
How does that work? Give me the details.
Well, you get a bill. Your first bill, your first round is $30, right?
Yeah.
I do 20%.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do that before you're finished?
Oh gosh, yes.
No. When she first comes, because they charge you every time they come with a round. Unless you're like Russ and has a credit card. And so I give 20% up front. I used to do that.
Yeah.
That way she goes, oh, this guy's a good tipper.
Right.
And so I get my stuff. Yeah.
They pay more attention to you.
I'll have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go to bars, so I never learned that.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah, I guess so. Hard to change habits,
Yeah, but I just thought I'd call and give you
Thank you, sir.
my sense of humor. People, paying that extra for domestic beer, then you have to have a line to make it taste better.
Thank you, sir. Take care, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Mr. Gilbert.
That was kind of interesting, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that, but they do. The Corona just kind of comes with a lime.
Well, yeah.
It just does.
There are people who are beer aficionados, who can tell one beer from another very easily and explain you this is that beer and this is that beer and this is why it's good and that's why it's not. I'm not one of those.
I'm not either. I like beer, but I don't drink very much anymore.
Yeah, I understand.
I think I probably had 2 or 3 beers this year.
That's probably 2 or 3 more than me. And I don't consider myself a teetotaler. I just hardly ever drink.
Me either. But I'm concerned about health and weight loss, and it not only will add a lot of hollow calories, it takes away some of your desire to do the right thing.
Well, yes, I mean it can affect your judgment clearly, and because I don't drink much, it doesn't take much to affect my judgment.
That's a fact. I mean, right now, a couple beers could pretty much put me down.
Probably one for me. I mean, woozy and wandering around. Well, where am I? Not quite that bad, but definitely it's very noticeable.
Riley Gaines, you know who that is. Riley Gaines, she's
basketball.
No, I think she's a swimmer. And she's
okay.
and she's one of the more noteworthy ones that got upset when men were in the girls' sports.
Oh yeah, no,
she ended up losing some titles.
Right.
She was in line to do some stuff, and so she became outspoken about it. This is ruining women's sport, and of course the left just comes after her to destroy her. Like, how dare you care about women?
That's how they quote women.
Homophobe or whatever. I don't know. Genderphobe. I don't know what they are.
Transphobic, I guess they might.
But when Riley Gaines came out, I mean, she had other women athletes going after her too. One was Simone Biles. She she put out there on X right away, called out Gaines for speaking up against transgender pitcher who won a Minnesota girls softball championship and mocked Gaines' body, saying, "Bully someone your own size," which would ironically be a male. Um, and but she got a lot of pushback, physical and stuff too. I mean,
Sure.
and she fought, and I admire the lady. And right now, but now a year later, Supreme Court has upheld,
Yeah.
the women. I mean, the men need to play in men's sports. I don't care what your personal preference is.
What you claim you are, it's what you
Yeah.
really are.
It's a DNA thing. Gaines has a close ally in Biles' former U.S. Olympic gymnastic team teammate, because she's also their athletes, Michaela Skinner, because she started and Skinner celebrated the Supreme Court's decision to uphold the laws. And she said, just being able to try to find my voice and how I could use my voice after Simone had come out against Riley, which they became friends, Riley and her, because Skinner did. It really affected me. I have a little daughter, and we're hoping to put her in sports soon. And I just really want her to have everything that I got to have, all the opportunities. I've broken records. I've been an Olympian. I was a college athlete, and I want her to have the opportunities that I had. And so this, for me, was a way that I felt like is the time for me to come up and stand for what I believe in, stand with Riley, and to join the fight. Of course, she joined it before yesterday. She didn't wait for that, but she did that even though the girl that was attacking Riley was her teammate, and I guess she walked away from it. She said, I think I would just be really cool to see Simone stand with us. I mean, she's still looking out for, hope her friends change her mind.
Sure.
The one, she's one of the best athletes in the world. And so they're still throwing love towards her,
Right.
like we hope things work out. But I haven't heard a lot about the decision yesterday from some of the athletes at all. And I'm really curious because there's a lot of states, a lot of programs that have held on to this, boys or girls too. And I don't know. I don't know what happens to them now. I mean, I haven't heard anything about instantaneous.
Well,
we changed our program.
What the decision said is that if you are a state and you wish to create a law saying that only biological women can participate in women's sports or only biological girls can participate in girls' sports, you can make such a law. It doesn't say that California couldn't make a law saying if you want to call yourself a woman and you're a man, you can still participate. It leaves it up to the states more, pretty much.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It's like abortion.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Now
there's a caveat, and that is, I think the United States government is able to enforce Title IX enforcements and saying you cannot use Title IX to say that somebody who is biologically male and claims to be female has a right to participate in female sports, women's sports.
Well, they did that Title IX a while ago, didn't they?
Well, they tried to make it a right for somebody who had this mental confusion to participate in
using Title IX.
Right. And that's gone now.
Yeah, that was gone. And that was Biden's interpretation of Title IX.
Exactly.
But I've had conversations with people, within the last few months that still said, no, Title IX says men can be in boys,
Well, that's
girls.
During the Biden administration, they pushed that interpretation, but that is gone. The Supreme Court has said no.
Well, even a lot, and that's part of the problem we had with our high school boards is they were buying that thing hook, line, and sinker.
Right.
Saying we have no choice because that's what Title IX says. No, it doesn't.
No, and it really never did.
No.
It was an interpretation by the Biden administration, and it wasn't a good interpretation, in my opinion.
Edward says he has the opportunity to tell different beers.
Well, I'm sure there are people who...
Well, because he reads the label.
Yeah. Sometimes people put one thing in a different label.
Nah, he would never do that. Yeah, he reads the label. I'm not that much of a expert on beer.
Well, there are people who are.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. Or on wines.
Yes, even liquor, hard liquor. There are people who are very cognizant of how a hard liquor tastes.
Yeah.
People are whiskey aficionados.
Well, they all taste about the same if you put a lime in it.
Yeah. Well, the taste of lime then.
I think so. Dean, we finally came up on 9 o'clock. We're going to have to go. Which is always sad because I got to go to work.
Yeah, well, I enjoy going to work.
Thank you, sir. I'll be back tomorrow. What is day? Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday. Let me see. Mortgage One Studios with Russ Clark.